Hello. Hi. Random show. What's happening? How are you doing? Hope you're fine. Random show with your host Agostino. How you feeling? How you doing, people? Are you okay? Holla if you hear me. Holla if you hear me. Welcome back to the random show. What's going on? What's crack-a-lacking? Holla if you can hear me. Holla if you can hear me. Are you guys good? Are you guys fine? How you feeling? How you doing? Let me know in the stream chat down below. I'd be greatly appreciated of that. Let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling, how you're looking, how you're commuting, how you're just feeling as well. All those things in between. What's up, man? What's happening? Hope you're well. Random show settings. We're back again. I was doing a show previously. I was doing Taz, rambling. But then towards the end, my computer kind of started to be glitchy. When I came back, I noticed Tfatk episode number 1000 just dropped. Hey, wait. Tfatk episode number 1000 just dropped. It's about 3 hours long as well, so we're going to be able to hopefully get through it in one sitting. If not, I'll break it up in parts. But how amazing is that, right? Just when my stream starts cutting off and starts lagging and starts fucking stuttering like Frederick Jalla, aka Poetic Flocko, suddenly Tfatk drops. Hallelujah. So we're going to do a watch along of Tfatk 1000 as the majority of the show. That's the main part of the show. But we've got two things to cover before we do that. We've got two things to cover. We cover two things. The things to cover, we cover two things. Okay, cool. Big up everybody. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining me. Big up the stream chat. Thank you for being here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch because I've got this other thing. Let me just switch these things around so I can see when I scan over on this side and I want to see what you filthy mofos are saying. I can see it instantly. So, big up the stream chat. Thank you for joining. Always appreciate you guys being here and joining me when we rant and rave and joke about these comedians, because you could be anywhere else really. You could be doing something way more positive, way more constructive for your life, but instead you're here listening to me talk shit about people that are technically way more successful than us. It's kind of R-worded, but I appreciate you anyway. I appreciate you for joining me in this struggle stream. This is what it is. This is struggle streaming. Really and truly, I should be wasting my time talking about Will Smith, Kevin Hart, Drewski, Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, Drake, Kendrick Lamar. I should be talking about all these amazing, super talented people. Not Brendan Schwab, not Brian Callen, not Diddler Delia. But you guys join me and you make it fun, okay? So if we're going to suffer together, at least we suffer as a family. Anyway, big up everyone in stream chat. I appreciate all of you. I see you here. Big up Tetris. I see you. Big up a straggling fan, Wagwan. Big up Sir Guy. Big up Sir Guy Archipov. Big up Sir Guy Archipov. Big up Homeless Cat. I see you. Game Breed Footballer, my guy. Always. What's happening, guy? Bad News Wagwan. And NJ Ranger. What's the deal? What's the motherfucking deal? Anyway, let's crack on. Let's get going. I'm wasting bare time chattering, bickering, and being a fucking idiot. Let's get going. Number one thing to talk about. YURIY. You know who YURIY is. I cover him on this stream quite often. YURIY, who's a former host of No Jumper, who has his own streams called Harmonious Man YURIY. He's on Kick. He's on YouTube. Check him out. He also does this thing called 10 Talks with his girlfriend called Riley. He went viral, unfortunately, because he had a very strange, super sensitive, super redacted, losery, bummy, dumb argument with his girlfriend on stream because he happened to find a video of hers that she recorded while she was in high school, and he was upset at the fact that he wasn't told about a video that she recorded when she was in high school and that when they went together. And it wasn't like she recorded an adult video like Adam 22's wife. No, she just recorded a video like, you know, what kids do, trying to make a channel with her friend and her clearly gay best friend. And for some reason, YURIY saw that as a problem. He went viral for the wrong reasons. He's also gone semi-viral in our redacted unimportant space where we kind of look at and observe and point fingers at all the no jumper people when he went on holiday and stuff with his girlfriend and his other friends, and they're always arguing whenever they're out and about. They always get into beefs and squabbles and nonsense things that shouldn't be on stream. And because of the way he treats her, he's got now a bad reputation. Because I think it's a bit unfair, because I think it's twofold. I'm somebody who's observed YURIY from afar, and I've always said that I don't think they're going to break up anytime soon. Anyway, everyone always says, oh, they're going to break up, they're going to break up. I don't think so. I think they are very much in love. They just express their love in a very toxic, negative, and almost sad way, because it's always involving arguing and bickering. Because I'm sure once they argue, they do make up as well at the end, and everything's fine, and they completely forget about it. And the fact that she stayed, despite all the public humiliations, despite being ridiculed, despite being embarrassed, despite the millions of views that Moist Critical got when he analyzed the video of YURIY crashing out because he saw that video of his girlfriend that she recorded when she was in college, the fact that she stayed is proof enough to me that she's in love with him as well. Even though it's destructive, even though it's not good for her, even though she's clearly gained quite a lot of weight, looks a bit fucked up, you know, all that sort of shit probably isn't helping when you're in a relationship that's kind of toxic as well. They stay because they love each other, which is okay, no problem. But we obviously analyze what YURIY does because he's a bit of a lolcow and he does a lot of stupid shit. But, you know, it kind of is what it is, just entertainment you watch from the outside in. But most of the stuff that we talk about on this stream, or that I talk about on this stream, are usually clips that come from his own podcast. They're usually clips that come from his own streams. They're not things that I pluck out from the ether. They're not things that I'm inventive. I'm not constructing a narrative. I watch his stream sometimes. I notice the dumb things that he says. I might see a clip on a No Jumper subreddit of some mad shit that he said to his girlfriend, and I'll talk about it on the stream because it's funny, it's redacted, it's dumb, it's stupid, and it should be ridiculed. Now, I guess YURIY was in a bit of a, you know, wanting to see Wagwan mode, so he decided to do what people shouldn't do, is Google themselves and check what people are saying. He did it one day, and I guess he happened to stumble across one of my videos. So big up the person that told me, because I didn't find this myself. Big up the person who commented on a previous video. I forgot who you are. Apologies. But whoever did tell me, hey, check out YURIY's stream, he mentioned you. Thank you. I appreciate you. So YURIY did mention me, and he went on a bit of a quote-unquote rant. And essentially, he doesn't understand the criticism that he gets, which I think is perfect for me, because I'm in the business of laughing at lolcows. So it's perfect when they're lacking in any semblance of self-awareness, because it just means they perpetuate the same mistakes. That obviously makes me laugh, that makes you guys laugh, and we have a good time. But I'm not gonna lie, it also kind of bummed me out. Because he genuinely thinks that everybody's out to get him. He genuinely thinks that everybody is jealous of him because he has a girlfriend that people think is hot. He honestly does think that everybody thinks that, he honestly thinks that everyone's kind of intimidated by him or something. It's a very bizarre, weird way to kind of look at the world. It's almost as if like he's proud to be a victim, but then he also wants to be like a Billy Big Balls things about it. It's weird. It's a weird combination of a person. And it's even sadder because he's like 29, 30. This is a grown-ass man. If he was like Aiden Ross's age, Kai Cenat's age, Aisha Speed's age, that would make a lot of sense. Immature, young, you know, you'll figure it out in the end. But the fact that he thinks this way and he's this age is really sad. I'm not going to lie. It really is sad. But let's hear what YURIY has to say about the stuff that I've said about him and other people have said about him on streams, because he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy.
9? Wait, what do you mean? 109. 109 what? Also, yo, chat, guys. Bro.
Steven Castaneda, what's happening, nigga?
At this point, because like I haven't streamed on my YouTube channel for so long, every time I search up YURIY, literally everyone else's channel pops up before my channel pops up. It's like I go through even like channels I've never even heard of. That's what happened today. When I was trying to get my link for my stream today to post on IG, a random stream pops up where it's this dude who he sounds like he's from London or something like that.
I find it interesting how American people can't. Oh, you can't see it. You can't see it. You can't see it. My bad. My bad. Whoopsie. 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 There we go. Let's start again from the beginning.
Wait, what do you mean? 109. 109 what? Also, yo, chat, guys. Bro. At this point, because like I haven't streamed on my YouTube channel for so long, every time I search up YURIY, literally everyone else's channel pops up before my channel pops up. It's like I go through even like channels I've never even heard of. That's what happened today.
Big up, why not? Big up, why not? Sage advice. Why not? Big up, why not? Googling himself is a quick way to get the courage to bungee without a rope. If you're a prominent person, you really should take Joe Rogan's advice. Don't read the comments. Don't check what people say about you. Positive or negative. You should just be full steam ahead with whatever content you make. Now, I disagree. I don't think Rogan is as disciplined as he says he is about he never checks anything. I don't believe him because he's too big of a person not to be curious at least one time, see what people are saying. But actively going out of your way to search your name and see what people are saying is a fool's errand. It really is a fool's errand, especially if you're lacking self-awareness. If you're lacking in self-awareness, what is it? It's not going to do you any good anyway. It's going to fuck up your brain. You're not going to understand it. You're going to get bitter. And then you're also going to be a bit like tight when you do your content. Just ignore what's happening and just focus on what you're doing anyway. For the most part, it's working for him, right? He's got a fucking loads of followers on Kick. I'm not sure how many subs he's got, but at one point he was on the Kick incentive program. So he's making good money. He's doing what he likes to do. Sit on stream, smoking, listen to music, talking to his stream chat, and they like him for it. He has no business watching anything what anyone says about him, me or anybody else. Just focusing on what you're doing. But the moment you do it, you have to also be a bit open to what people are saying. But then if you're not, what's the point of watching? But I could be wrong. Let's continue.
When I was trying to get my link for my stream today to post on IG, a random stream pops up where it's this dude who he sounds like he's from London or something like that.
By the way, I love how some people, especially Americans, have an inability to differentiate between somebody that is from where they're from or isn't from where they're from. Because what else do I sound like? Do I sound like an American guy? Or do I sound like a guy that's from England? Maybe you don't know I'm from London, but at least knowing, okay, cool, that guy's like, it's interesting because I can't pick out accent. Don't get me wrong, I can't pick out accent. I don't know a difference between Ohio and a fucking Boston accent or a Philly accent and this accent. But I could say, oh, that person's likely from Eastern Europe. That person's likely from Spain. That person's likely from fucking Russia. That person's likely from somewhere in the Caribbean. It shouldn't be that hard, really. Really. But I think the skin tone and the do-rag threw him off. Because he's probably so used to seeing people that look like me and who wear these things, being from where he's from, he's like, oh.
It's like this guy wearing like a do-rag and glasses, and he sounds like he's from London potentially, but I don't know who he is. And it's like, he's just like, it seems like he's like another example of just like people who just take the craziest narratives, bro. Like just take like, I was like, I didn't even listen to the whole thing because as I was listening.
Again, I take the craziest narrative, but then you don't listen to what I'm saying. Okay, the whole narrative thing, he needs to stop using that word. He misuses the word, it's overused, and it's not saying what he wants to say. What he wants to say is that I'm making things up. What he wants to say is that I'm lying. Just say that. Don't say narrative, because there is no narrative. There is no story. I'm just commenting on what you do on your streams. I'm not taking what you're doing and then weaving my own story. I'm seeing what you're doing and interpreting what I see. If you don't do the dumb shit, I've got nothing to talk about. That's it. If you don't do dumb shit, if you don't scream at your girlfriend, if you don't press her buttons, if you don't bicker on camera, if you don't have dumb opinions about things, I have nothing to talk about. Zero. There is no story. You say dumb things, I point and laugh. That's it.
As I was like listening to it, I was like, bro, I'm like, this is the shit that happened. Like this is making me brain dead right now. No disrespect to him. It's like the narrative. It's the weird narrative.
No disrespect, but disrespect. I'm now creating false narratives, and I'm also making him brain dead. God damn it, I'm an L.
I'm just like, dude, how do people just like assign themselves to, or subscribe to like certain narratives.
What's the narrative? That you're a bit of a shitty boyfriend? That's subjective, but based on what I see, that's what I interpret. That you are a bit of a victim, that's subjective, but what I see is what I talk about. That you throw stones and hide your hands, that's subjective, but it's what I see and it's what I talk about. That's it. Nothing else really. Doesn't seem like a bad human being. Don't really know much about him. Don't really care. It's just based on the streams. It's not that deep. Fundamentally, at its core, he should never watch content about himself anyway, because he doesn't have any self-awareness. He lacks introspection. He's very closed-minded, very stubborn, clearly. So maybe just don't watch what people say about you, because it's just going to make you more pissed off. But if you're going to watch it, at least be open to what they're saying. You don't have to listen. You don't have to care. You don't have to change your behavior based on what someone says. But at least be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get why you'd say that, but fuck you. But no, he's just like, no, nothing is what, everything you're saying is just like, bro, what narrative have I created? Honestly, it's just content that this guy puts out on the internet. Don't get me wrong. I do have a bit of sympathy for him because he's an IRL streamer primarily. So he's on camera a lot more than he probably would want to be, because that's the content that he makes. That's what pays the bills. And because of the amount of time he spends in front of a camera, you know, more than likely, if all of us were on camera for like 10 hours every day, we're going to say and do some dumb shit. So maybe that's a reason why. But still, don't do it when you're on camera. It's not that hard, brother.
For what reason? I don't know. With what evidence? I don't know. I don't get it, dude.
The evidence is your streams. And what other people say about you.
I'm dog. Yes, unfortunately I was. I saw that. I saw that clip recently.
Oh, and what does stream chat say? South shout London. Why don't you get Riley back? You need to do a list. Oh, an IRL stream. Oh, and by the way, let's just make this point as well. Do you know how pathetic this guy is? You know how pathetic these people are? It's just a weird way to kind of look at the world. So everyone criticizes YURIY about how he treats Riley. I think it's a bit unfair because I think a lot of people are sympathetic or empathetic to Riley because they think she's attractive. I think people will then dismiss that she also can be annoying in her own way. I'm sure. It always takes two to tango, especially in that kind of toxic relationship. It's not just him being a piece of shit. She's also a piece of shit, but she does it in her own way. Cool, whatever. People are, oh my God, Riley needs saving, she needs saving, she's saving. I personally think they could avoid 90% of their relationship problems on camera if, guess what? They didn't have the camera on when they were arguing. If they turn off the stream when they're about to argue, it takes away half of the problems. Cool. Now, instead of deciding to do that, Riley just decided not to be on camera anymore. That's her approach to kind of get rid of the toxicity. But the toxicity is your partner and yourself, not the viewers. The viewers don't create the toxicity in your relationship. You guys do, because you guys press each other's buttons and you argue on camera and ridicule each other to the point where you cry or he gets exasperated and walks off in the middle of London and says he's going to get a hotel. You guys are doing that yourself. The chat doesn't do it. Or if the chat does it, guess what? Turn off TTS. And suddenly those tips and shit, those text-to-speech tats that get you triggered won't trigger you anymore. That's all you have to do. Just turn it off. But YURIY doesn't want to turn it off because he knows deep down he knows in his subconscious that drama pays the bills, bro. Harassing your girlfriend, poking at her, teasing her, pressing her buttons, pushing her to the point of where she's going to have a breakdown, making her cry. That shit, unfortunately, pays the bills. So they keep doing it. But now Riley's trying to preserve her mental health. Cool. And she's not going to be on stream anymore. But you know what she's on? She's in the chat. So she's not on stream, but she's sitting in the other room on the chat watching him. So it's like, instead of changing your behavior, you just are on this. It's like, I love it. I fucking love it. Oh, babe, let's just change how we talk to each other. Let's change how we, like, you know, show love. Let's change how we behave. No. Forget that. I'm just not going to appear on stream. I'm just going to be in the chat instead. Genius.
That guy hates you like crazy. Be water, chat, guys.
That guy hates you. I don't hate you. I don't know you to hate you. Honestly, the fucking ego on some of these people, it's not that deep. There's not much else to talk about. I don't watch reality TV. whatever else. This is my version of it. This is basically my version of Real House of whatever. This is it. You guys. If you're not a local, I have nothing to laugh about. I have to go elsewhere. I have to maybe start talking about Mersh, Nick Ricada, you know, Boogie, Wings. If you don't local, I don't fucking speak. Simple as that, really. I don't hate you. I don't know you to hate you. Somebody in this chat, Augustino or some shit, that guy hates you on like crazy. I used to kind of spell my name all right. He called me Augustine.
Have a pretty good.
And somebody else says, yeah, everyone's trying to become point and shoot. Okay, big up point and shoot, but okay.
Self-awareness about myself. I'm not. Thank you, AK. Thank you so much.
This might be the most insane thing he says in the whole clip. Listen to what he says after this.
Hold on. Thank you, AK. I appreciate you, bro.
AK dropped a bag of $2. Gang. I have too many weed flavors right
So is the volume up now? I put the volume up now.
now. Can you help me pick? Should I smoke Pink Pebbles by Lil Uzi? Wavy Flakes by Babyface Ray? Lucky Charms by V's? Or should I just roll this lemon cherry gelato that I was...
Oh, wow. Somebody called me creepy. I look creepy, do I? Huh. Is it the glasses? Is it my face? Is it my do-rag? Somebody called Joe Mama 707 says, yeah, that's who I fucking hate. Dude is creepy. Huh. To be fair, though, if I did pop around the corner, you know what I mean? Your wife will definitely scream. You know? Your partner, the mother of your kids, your mum, if I like pop around the corner, do you know what I mean? They probably would scream. To be fair. So I get it.
Go and G yourself so that I can try it.
Thank you, AK. I appreciate you so much. AK, I don't think you realize this or not, but you just be flexing in the funniest ways possible. I got so much of these weed strains. I don't even know what to choose. Hey, what should I smoke? This Lil Uzi Vert weed. This V's weed. It's like, bro, no, I don't think he understands he's doing that. I think he's just asking a genuine question. But he be flexing on all of us every single time he does it. Hey, what should I smoke? This $90 eighth? This $112 eighth? This $100 eighth? Lil Uzi Vert. Choose the Lil Uzi Vert one. Fuck it. Lil Uzi Vert.
If I had to choose one thing that I do hate about him, it's the arms thing. But I think everyone hates that. It's just like, what are you doing? But as a person, I don't know you. I just know what you do on the internet. I just point and laugh at it and I ridicule it because it is quite insane that somebody of your age could be saying some of the things that you're saying and be so butthurt about things that you shouldn't be butthurt about. That's it, really. It's not that deep. It's not really that deep, really. You know, the arms thing is annoying. That's hate-worthy. But everything else, you know, you're not that hateable, really. No one thinks about you that much, to be honest. But hey, I could be wrong.
It sounds like Pink Runs, potentially. AK said, I don't mean like that, I'm sorry. I'm fucking around. It's just funny. Wait, god damn it. I forgot what I was gonna say. I got distracted. What was I gonna say before that?
Yeah, back to hating on the nigga. Back to hating on the nigga.
What was I gonna say before that?
You hate black people.
AK, smoke us out.
Come on, hurry up.
Smoke me out. Smoke us out. False narratives. Oh, yes. Okay, so guys, to get back to it, the false narrative thing, I'm not sure who that guy is. Someone said that he hates me. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but
I don't hate you. I don't know you.
Constant things about people just spreading negativity on.
Have you noticed though, the time that Riley has spent away from the house, this is a question directed to him. Has Yuri noticed the time that Riley has not been on stream, the time that she spent away with her parents or whoever in San Francisco, has he not noticed that there's been a decrease in the amount of people talking about him? Has he not noticed that there aren't as many clips about him on the No Jumper subreddit? Has he noticed that I haven't been speaking about him as much or with level of frequency that I was in the past? Can't he realize that maybe the reason why people were talking about him was the Riley shit? And as soon as that stops, it's over. The only reason why people spoke about him again, or I did, was the owing money to Blasey thing, which was funny because a few weeks prior he was flexing, then he was talking about buying a house, and then he obviously we heard that he owes money. So that was just funny to comment on because it's a funny sequence of events. Now the details could be different, but the facts are the facts. So doesn't he notice that if he stops abusing his girlfriend online, 80% of the abuse he gets online stops? Because apart from his beef with Riley online, he's kind of boring. There's not much to talk about. Not his fault. We are who we are, but he's not that interesting to talk about if he's not beefing with his girl on stream. The moment he starts beefing with his girl on stream, people start talking about him. But then he complains and says everyone's got their name in his mouth, but he doesn't realize they don't have it for a good reason. They don't got their name in their mouth because they're jealous of your success or they think you have interesting hot takes. No, they just take the piss out of the way you treat your girlfriend.
On me and my name, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And whenever I talk about this, people say like, oh, Yuri can't take accountability, Yuri whatever. It's just, bro, I've already gone through the whole chronological order of events on everything that's happened. You can watch my YouTube videos on the Yuri 2 channel if you guys want a fucking actual chronological order of events. But at this point, it's gone insane. And especially with the people who aren't like in my immediate circle, I guess, people I know personally who are just going out of the way to talk shit, it's really become a thing where, guys, like I said, I'm not a super handsome dude at all. I'm very, very skinny. I'm not very tall. I'm not wealthy. There's a lot of things that, you know, just like, I'm not like, who's really gonna look at me and be intimidated, right? But there are, chat, unfortunately, and somehow there are people who look at me and they get intimidated. They're like, oh my god.
Can you imagine your brain working like that? Is that narcissism? Could you imagine your brain working like that? Where you deduce that the reason why people speak about the way you treat your girlfriend on stream is that they are intimidated by you. That's what you take away from it. That's your conclusion. They're intimidated by you. Wow. I'm thankful and lucky that I'm not that delusional, or I don't lack that much self-reflection or introspection, and I have some level of self-awareness, because I don't know what I'll do myself if that's how I viewed the world. If I did things that would warrant people kind of teasing me, and then I would then say, oh, you're just teasing me because you're jealous. No, I'm teasing you because you said something teasable. No, you're just intimidated and jealous because I'm like, okay, I guess. If you said so, I guess so.
I'm jealous of this fucker. You're sexy stuff.
AK
Okay,
dropped a bag of $2. Yo, you got me crying, bro. I needed that laugh low. Lil Uzi Pink Pebbles is being broken up as we speak.
Pink Pebbles.
This one.
Anyway, that's basically the majority of the clip. Hey, man. You know, I'm talking to a brick wall at this point, so no point directing any more things at him. He views his life one way, other people view it another way. It is what it is. I guess the only opinion, the only advice I'd give to the guy, don't search things about yourself online. You lack the, you know, ability to be introspective or to be, you know, somewhat, whatever, reasonable when people say certain things. You don't see it their way anyway. So just do your thing, innit? Like, there's no need to check what people say because you're not going to agree with it. It's going to wind you up anyway. And it's just going to give people more fodder to kind of poke or to kind of point and laugh at you about, really, to be honest. And also, maybe just keep your girlfriend off stream permanently and it'll stop everything, really, because no one else has been covering or, you know, talking about what he's been doing because he's not been arguing with Riley. So if he just stops having her on camera, maybe stopping the behavior would be beneficial. Because to be honest, having her on camera does probably help his business. Maybe just changing their behavior and how they treat each other is maybe a better long-term goal. If you decide, hey, let's keep arguments off of the stream, let's try to be loving, let's try and show people that we actually do care about each other, blah, 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 it actually might be beneficial to them going forward, but they don't. They'd rather just keep the arguments off camera, right? Which is funny in itself, but hey, do what you need to do. So, you know, Godspeed to that guy, Godspeed to that young man, Godspeed to that young man. Talking about other guys and talking about somebody that isn't young, but also is a man, we have to talk about ERIK Griffin. ERIK Griffin. Eric Reginald Potato Head Griffin has come out with a reply and a clapback for people who were insulting him and taking the piss out of him and calling him a Karen because of the story that he shared on Legion of Skanks, where he said that he tried to get a Lyft driver fired because they made a joke and called him Mr. Potato Head, which he didn't take too well. And in the process of him jumping in the lift, the person said, "Oh my God, you look at Mr. Potato Head." He didn't take it too well. And while he's in the Lyft car, he was live tweeting at Lyft trying to get that person fired. He got rightfully ridiculed for that on the interwebs. And Erik Griffin wasn't too happy that people were calling him out for being a Karen, for being sensitive, for being thin-skinned, and for not being able to take a joke despite being a professional comedian. He was happy about it. He replied. So before he replies, we're going to do in chronological order. We're actually going to play Too Lazy to Try's video. Now, the funny thing is, I commented on this stuff, I think, if I'm not mistaken, before Too Lazy to Try made this video. But Too Lazy to Try is a fucking big fucking deal. So he got all the views, motherfucker, and all the attention. So congrats to him. But he did put it in a much better way. He did edit it in a much better way. He presented it in a much better way. And the headline, the title alone, is going to get under someone's skin. Comedian loses it after being called Mr. Potato Head. That's perfect, right? Chef's kiss. So big up Too Lazy to Try. So we're going to watch his video. Then we're going to go to what Erik Griffin said as a reply. Because Erik Griffin didn't see my video. He saw this guy's video. And he was mad. Mostly mad because of the amount of views that Too Lazy to Try was able to get on a video poking fun at one Erik Griffin. And maybe part of him is also pissed off because he didn't even use his name in the title. He didn't even use his fucking name in the title. He just said comedian. So it's like an extra insult. So let's watch Too Lazy to Try's video and then we'll see Erik Griffin's response. Big up Too Lazy to Try.
So in this video, we have Erik Griffin, who people would probably know from Workaholics or The Golden Hour with Brendan Schaub. That's pretty much what he's up to now, just doing a podcast with Brendan, which isn't the best sign for a comedian's career.
Okay. Now I get why Erik was pissed. Too Lazy to Try starts up and just calls him a podcaster. He says the only reason why he's relevant is because he does a podcast with Brendan. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. Even though he does more. He directs stuff. I think he directed Matt Rife's special. He's doing stuff in like film. He's missed quite a few golden hours, to be fair to him. That's the funny thing. He was the last addition into that crew of like Chris D'Elia, Theo, Brendan. He wasn't really welcomed. He was kind of like discarded by like the Tiger Belly crew. The podcast him and Bobby didn't work out. Bobby went Andrew Santino, and he was kind of in no man's land. He didn't really have a crew, a community to kind of hang out with. Then he starts to latch on to Brendan, even though he used to fucking diss Brendan, and he didn't like Brendan when he started stand-up because Brendan was an athlete. So he hated Brendan just off his image, not off for something he said. So he's actually a worse hater than the Fighting the Kids subreddit guys. Because the Fighting the Kids subreddit guys, the homeless cats and us, we maybe don't like this. We maybe dislike Brendan because of the things that he said over the years and how he's acted over the years. Erik Griffin hated him as soon as he saw him because he was just an athlete doing stand-up. And he was jealous that he was getting more attention than him. Anyway, fast forward, he then starts to befriend Brendan and then he kind of worms his way into that group. But credit to Erik Griffin. He now is the person that's missing more Golden Hour episodes because he's actually busy. He's doing a residency at fucking Mothership. He's going to film fucking gala things. He's writing, he's directing, he's producing. So he's actually missing the 1 or 2 Golden Hours here and there. So Chris is having to sit next to Brendan and take him in all of his redactedness by himself, while Erik is actually pursuing his Hollywood dreams. It's fucking funny. The guy they disregarded, the guy that joined last, is actually another guy that's striving and succeeding. But Too Lazy to Try called him a podcaster. That's what insulted him the most. He called him Mr. Potato Head and he said he's just a podcaster. But looking at the video clip, yo, that nose is made for cocaine, isn't it? He's like, that's a Nick Ricator nose. I forgot how big his nose is. That nose takes up like 20% of his face. Fucking hell. That takes up the entire 8-ball. You pour out an 8-ball on the table, he takes it all up in one fucking sniff. Fucking hell, Erik Griffin. You're blessed.
And what makes it even worse for him is it seems like Erik isn't very good at handling jokes. Like recently he told this story about this Lyft driver he had who called him Mr. Potato Head, which he got offended by and complained about on Twitter and got Lyft to respond. So he kind of had a time.
Yo, big up my guy Wolfgang Rittner. Big up my guy. I think Wolfgang Rittner is a bit behind. Big up my guy Wolfgang Rittner. Brother, thank you for the kind words. But in my brain, I think I'm Get Rich or Dying 50 Cent. I think I'm scary. In my brain, I think I'm Get Rich or Dying 50 Cent. Chain up, top off, chain swinging, do-rag, backward hat, just ready to blow someone's head off. That's what I think I look like. But obviously, in reality, it's very different. Big up Wolfgang Rittner.
Segura, American Airlines type moment. And this happened a while ago, but he recently talked about it on Legion of Skanks, and it was hilarious because you could tell he thought everybody would agree with him and be on his side, but it sounds like most people just thought it was funny and he's being too sensitive. Like Dave Smith and Bobby Kelly and even the crowd, it sounds like, just thought it was funny.
Oh, Lewis wrote to LYFT?
Oh,
I want to say this before he shares the story. I don't understand how you could share this story as a comedian and not think, because I'm surprised that he didn't share it as like, yeah, I'm a fucking Karen. Yeah, I'm going to snitch. Yeah, I want to get fired. That's actually quite understandable. That's actually quite funny. If you come at it from the angle of like, yeah, of course I wanted her to get fired. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? It's the fact that Erik was surprised at people's reaction. That's what surprised me. He was surprised that regular people heard this story and called him a sensitive, thin-skinned, Karen. It's like, bro, how else could we interpret this story?
100%.
Dude, listen, I was in a Lyft one time and a lady was being weird. And she says to me, you look like Mr. Potato Head. She said this to me.
Okay. So far making a good point, but all right. What happens next? I'm with you.
So
even in his tonality there, she said that to me. It's almost as if like, guys, can you believe it? She called me Mr. Potato Head. She said I was fat. She said I had a big nose. She said I look racially ambiguous. Like, how can you be surprised at these things? Why don't you know what you look like? Surely part of that's why they always say like fat guys are usually the best at roasting. Because usually if you're fat, you've heard fat jokes your entire life. You know what you look like. There's nothing somebody can say that's ever going to get to you, really. So you're always good at kind of taking it, but you're even better at giving it. But Erik seems to be the opposite. He seems to be unaware of how he looks or how he's perceived. And then he's surprised when people call out the obvious. It's like, of course you look at Mr. Potato Head. It doesn't mean anything. It's not important. It's whatever. It's just a fucking throwaway comment. The person says it, you just put in your headphones, you just keep on going on. Why do you have to make it a fucking big deal? And why would you share this story in the first place?
I know what she means, but I mean, like, time and place.
Thank you.
You just met the guy.
I just got in your car. I don't know you like this. So I'm like this. I'm tweeting at Lyft. So I'm in your Lyft right now.
Oh, you ratted her out in the car?
Yeah.
Over Mr. Potato Head?
No, it was...
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Fair enough if you're sensitive. But being sensitive over somebody saying one joke, one attempt at a joke, one time, that you now want them fired is very excessive. If she was in the car and she kept saying, Mr. Potato Head, Mr. Potato Head, Mr. Potato Head, again and again and again, throughout your duration of your 40+ minute ride, okay, start fucking atting Lyft. Start atting the fucking CEO. Start atting the founder. Okay, no problem. But the person said it once as a passing, throwaway, awkward attempt at a joke while you were getting in a car. Just ignore it, man. It's not that big of a deal. What does it fucking matter, bro? You're not going to see that person ever again after you leave the car anyway. Fucking hell.
Call for.
Yeah, but it's on the money.
Yeah, but
We're getting old, dude. We're getting old.
Get into a Lyft and somebody's like, "Oh, you're a fat Patrick Stewart." You would be like, "Hold on."
And I mentioned in my previous clip, the funny thing about that joke that he made, that sounded way meaner than what the person said to him. He was kind of offended and pissed off that Bobby Kelly called him out like, what? You got pissed off about a one Mr. Potato Head joke? His fat Patrick Stewart joke was a little bit more mean-spirited. So Bobby Kelly would have more of a right to want that driver fired if they said that to him. Do you get what I mean? So you receive meanness, you complain about it, but then you give meanness back. Great tactic.
Yeah, but if someone got in a lift and said,
But right away, get to know me first.
And they posted this clip to Instagram, and Eric's just getting roasted in the comments. Somebody's like, this is Karen behavior from a comedian, snitching with Griffin. So he tried to cancel his Lyft driver.
Snitching
for
with
an
Griffin
innocent
is
joke.
funny.
Great look. And he said, get to know me first. Bro, you make fun of people without knowing them. Stop being soft if you're a comedian. Yeah, and also it's funny Eric said that because I found a video of him talking about it right when it happened on his podcast. And he said the lady was talking to him quite a bit before she mentioned that. And Eric was just complaining about everything. Like, he was annoyed.
See, that's what I mean. Big up to his to try for doing the fucking research. So Eric sounds even worse in this regard. Allegedly, the driver was talking to him before they said the Mr. Potato Head joke. They were having a cordial conversation somehow. However cordial it can be with the Uber driver, Lyft driver, it can be sometimes a bit awkward, a bit annoying, but whatever. They're talking to you. You're in their fucking car. You have to listen to them. If you don't have headphones, listen. Even just pretend to listen. It's not that deep. It's a 20-minute, half an hour ride. Like, shut up and put up with it. We all do it in the same thing. Oh, how's your day? Oh, Lyft and Uber isn't your only job. We've all done it. Just get on with it. It's not that big deal. He has a conversation with the driver, and then at the end, they make the joke, and it's still annoying. How can that offend you when the person has, tried to befriend you for the majority of the ride, then they say the joke at the end, and you get offended? Fair enough at the beginning. The beginning thing makes more sense. You're about to get into an Uber, and you're like, he's like, yeah, are you wherever the driver? And they reply back with, Mr. Potato Head. I can understand why that's annoying. You haven't even got into the car yet. I can understand. But if you've had already a 20-minute conversation and they drop that Mr. Potato Head joke at the end because they think at that point you are on a level where you can do those type of jokes, why are you crying? Why are you crying?
She didn't help him with his bags.
It's like somebody that don't really want to do this job. So they acting like they're your friend. Like, we not friends. You on
Jesus Christ. He's so miserable. He should start his own channel. He should start his own channel. He's so miserable. He's so bitter. He's such a hater that is absolutely hilarious. All he does is whine and complain. Oh my God, we are not friends. Who said you were friends? Because the driver's talking to you in the car doesn't mean they want to be your friend. You're in their fucking car. Who else are they going to talk to? Fucking hell. Of all the times I've been in an Uber, and I've been in an Uber with plenty of drivers having really deep conversations about their daughters, about their sons, about your career, about immigration, about politics, about war, about religion. I can't count one time where I've had to exchange details. It's just been like, oh my God, what a great conversation. Even if it hasn't been a great one, and you just leave it there because that's what it is. But it's a good conversation you had. You keep it moving. They're not trying to be my friend. They're just being nice. They're being polite. I'm in their fucking car. God almighty, Eric.
on the job. You working right now. So I need you to act like you working right now. So, all right. So the other day, I called her, pulls up. It's a girl. First of all, she's blocking the driveway. You know, other people got to get. I already see that this is going to be a situation.
Oh my God. He's such a miserable cunt. Oh, they're blocking the driveway. It's already... Bro, how you hating the car and the situation before you've even got in just because the car is parked a certain way? Oh, this is already about to be a bad day. Oh, man. He's so miserable. He needs his own channel. Forget Too Is to Try. Forget Podcast Cringe. Forget Comedy Enforcement. Forget Joke World. He needs to start his own channel. Because he might do actually quite well if he just started roasting comedians. Because he's got a lot of hate in him there. Oh, who are you? Your name's Bert. Oh, I'm Bert. I'm white and middle class. I can take off my t-shirt and make millions of dollars. Like, he should just start just hating on comedians. He'd make bank. Because this guy is a very hateful and bitter person. He for sure chats shit about comedians. Fucking hell. He's really hating his Uber. He hasn't even got in a car and he's already hating her. He doesn't even know the person.
So this is what I don't appreciate. If you're a female driver and you see a big ass bag,
I'm not saying you have to lift the bag.
Oh my God! Oh my God! No way is he complaining. Is he about to complain about a woman not offering to pick up his bag and put it in a car? No way is he gonna do this. Come on, Eric. Please don't. Please don't. I know you're a bitch, but you're not that much of a bitch. Please, you can't be. You can't be complaining about a woman not picking up your fucking luggage, your carry-on. Please don't say this. Please, I beg you. I beg you're not gonna cry because a woman didn't pick up your fucking backpack. Please don't say this. Please. Please. I beg of you.
Get your ass out the car and act like you're gonna lift the bag.
Oh my God! Eric Griffin's a oh my God! Eric Griffin is complaining that a woman driver didn't at least make the effort to pretend like she was gonna pick up his bag, even though he didn't want her to pick up the bag. What? In my opinion, it's your fucking bag. You put the bag in the fucking car. It doesn't matter if the person looks like the Mountain from the Game of Thrones or if they're built like Bobby Lee. You put the bag in the car. It's your bag. Yes, the driver can come out and offer, but it's your bag. Fuck. And what are you getting inside? A pickup truck? A tank? How high is it? It's not even that hard. Just pick it up and put it in there. If the bag is too heavy, why do you pack it so heavily? Oh my God, this guy's infuriating. Such a bitch.
Putting the trunk up, like, lift the trunk and be like, wow, that looks really heavy. And then I could be like, okay, I'll get it. But don't sit in the car. This chick pulls up and sits in the car and don't get out the car.
You know what? You know what's funny? Eric would be a good host on Fresh and Fit. Eric should go on Fresh and Fit or whatever. He has some very interesting views and opinions about male and female dynamics. I think he'd actually be a very interesting person to get on there because he's conventionally quite ugly. He's built like a sack of mashed potatoes, but he almost has this weird arrogance and, superiority complex going on that doesn't really match with what he looks like or what he does as a job. You're basically a professional clown, but then you think everyone should be like bowing at your feet as you're like walking out of the car. Like, bruh, you tell jokes on stage. It's not that deep. Like, pick up your bag, put it in there, go to your gig. Like, what are you doing? He'd actually be a good guest on whatever or Fresh and Fit. If he was smart, he'd actually do that angle. Forget trying to be like Brendan's friend and sitting next to a kiddie diddler. Go on Fresh and Fit, go on whatever, and cash out. That might actually be a good thing because I bet he has some ludicrous opinions on male-female dynamic to the point where he wants a woman to fucking pick up his bag to put in the Uber. Oh, what a bitch.
She don't get out the car. She just stays in the car, right? She don't even come around, open the trunk, and be like, oh, wow. No, she just sat in the car. I was like, all right, here we go. So I get in the car, and I like to sit in the front seat because this is a Jetta. You know what I mean? Like, stop acting like you in the limo.
He sat in the front seat. Only freaks, I don't care who you are in the stream chat, please tell me that you also think sitting in the front seat of an Uber is weird. Please tell me that. Maybe in America it's different, but in the UK, most of the time, the person that's driving an Uber, they will pull the front seat closer to the dashboard so it gives the back seat more space because usually the driver's seat is comfortable, right? They're going to do it however they want, leaning back, whatever. They're going to make themselves comfortable. So sometimes there's not a lot of space behind them. So common sense would have you sit on the passengers behind the passenger seat because there's more space there, usually. And in general, most people don't want to sit in the front seat of an Uber and sit next to somebody driving them. You just want to sit at the back because you're being driven by somebody. And it's weird to just sit next to the guy. But this fat cunt wants to sit in the front, which is already going to be awkward because the person's going to have to move the seat back. Oh, he's such a pain. I love that he's saying this driver's a pain in the ass. But if you think about it, he's actually a pain in the ass. Because the driver pulls up, ready for him to put the bag in and go. He obviously stands there like, oh, exasperated that she's not coming out. He makes a huff about putting his bag in. The drivers are already awkward, and then he asks her to sit in the front.
Fuck Eric Griffin, bean cheese, bean cheese,
Yeah,
bean
yeah,
cheese,
yeah,
bean
yeah,
cheese,
yeah,
bean
yeah,
cheese,
yeah,
bean
yeah,
cheese,
yeah,
Bert
yeah,
sucks, bean
yeah,
cheese,
yeah,
bean
yeah,
cheese, so
yeah,
does
yeah,
Bobby
yeah,
Lee,
yeah,
bean
yeah,
cheese,
yeah,
bean
yeah,
cheese.
yeah,
Joe Rogan
yeah,
is the
yeah,
worst
yeah,
comedian
yeah,
of all
yeah,
time
yeah,
relative
yeah,
to
yeah,
success,
yeah,
bean
yeah,
cheese,
yeah.
bean cheese.
Oh. Yeah, big up Koila. I don't even sit in the passenger seat with a girl driver anyway. I just think it's weird. Why would you sit in the passenger seat? Why? Why?
You in a Jetta, so go sit in the front seat like a regular person.
Yeah, Andy just sits in the front seat, then gets mad when the driver starts talking to him. He's like, oh, then the interrogation starts. But it sounded like she's just trying to make conversation, which I know some people, like, they just want to get to their spot. They don't want to talk to anybody, which is understandable. But if you sit next to the driver, I'd imagine they're probably going to try to talk to you. And she's just asking him, like, where he's going, what he does. So it sounds like she was talking to him quite a bit before she mentioned he looks like Mr. Potato Head. And she only mentioned that once he said he's a comedian. So he was already kind of annoyed with her. But I think he got really offended because she asked him what he's been in, like if she's seen him in anything. So Eric listed some things, and her response is, oh, I knew you look familiar. You look like Mr. Potato Head. You know, like that's what he's known for.
Okay. To be fair, now with the context, I kind of see why he was mad. Now with the, Now with the intro context, I see why he was mad. He's listing his credits. He's feeling like Billy Big Balls. And then she does what every regular civilian does. And it's like, yeah, I don't know those fucking shows, but you remind me of this thing. She just kind of like, you know, it's almost like a, I always have a backhanded compliment. It's a dismissal of everything he said prior, right? It's almost as if she was waiting for the opportunity to say it anyway, right? She wanted him to say it first. He didn't. And then when he finished talking, she was like, Mr. Potato Head. Do you know what I mean? Now I can understand. But still, you're a comedian. You're a comedian, sir. And look at the screenshot. In 2018 on his Facebook, he made a joke about it himself. I included another picture actually on my video. If you watch my video, you see a picture that I posted from his Facebook too, where somebody gave him a Mr. Potato Head thing and he was posing with it. There was a period of time where Eric was using the Mr. Potato Head thing as like I won't say like a meme, but as a thing to kind of like, haha, look at me, help me be famous type of thing. But maybe deep down, he never liked it anyway. He put up with it at a certain point when he wasn't famous. Now that he is kind of famous and doing his own thing, he now doesn't like it when people say it to him. So maybe he's never liked the Mr. Potato references. But, motherfucker, you do look like Mr. Potato Head. It's not even that deep. It's just I'm sure I look like something. We all look like something. It's not a big deal. It really isn't. The fact that he's making it such a big deal is actually going to make it worse. Because guess what? Now in his comments, he's going to have non-stop potato references. Way to kill the joke. Way to fucking try and, you know, make it old. You don't make it old by saying you don't care and constantly talking about it in a negative way, because people then realize, oh, that hurts your feelings. Oh, you don't like that. Guess what the internet does? Again and again and again and again.
Or just looking like the character, like he's a Mr. Potato Head impersonator.
He's like, oh, it's business? But it's like, here we go. So the interrogation starts. Okay, no, I'm going, I'm like, I'm going for business. Oh, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a comedian. I'm going to perform. Mistake.
That's a thing and I've said it before about my interaction with certain DJs, and, I've had a DJ recently fucking block me. Because I had like I described a interaction that I had with them that didn't go too well. And I was very self-deprecating, I felt like, but still, they didn't receive it too well. And I made the example like, isn't it funny that the most famous people in the world are polite, cordial, can just put the face on when they're interacting with strangers and just be professional? Right? They can be on the way to like picking up a Plan B pill. They'll see a fan, they'll ask for a selfie, and they'll take the picture, sans makeup, and just to make you happy and just continue going on. But these people who are like micro celebrities, they're like Z-listers, they're like niche celebrities within a niche of a niche of a niche. They're so uptight, they're so egotistical, they're so weird with fans or with people in general. Like, if I don't know, if Brad Pitt was in her car and she said a disparaging joke to him, he would just like, it would just be water off a duck's back. And he's infinitely more famous than Eric Griffin. But Eric Griffin is like, oh, she's asking me about what I do. Oh, here we go again. It's like, motherfucker, how many interactions with people do you actually have where they're interested about what you do and they're fans of yours? Really? Compared to a regular celebrity. Just put the professional face on, answer the questions and keep it fucking going. It really isn't that deep. Come on, bro. Like, I don't get it. These guys aren't even that important. And they're actually acting way more like cunts than the people that you would think should act like cunts. Like Rihanna, Brad Pitt, Drake, they have a reason to be like, no, go away. No autographs, no pictures, fuck you. But more than likely, they are more likely to give you more time than these motherfucking guys. And they're nobodies.
So I tell her that, and she's like, oh, what? Oh, my God, that's great. You a comedian? You know, if I seen you in anything? Now you have to justify your existence to this Lyft driver.
They're not oh my God, that is pure projection, by the way. That's pure projection. That's a you problem. Somebody saying, have I seen you in anything? And you taking it as them telling you to audition and to dance monkey dance. That's pure projection. That's an innocent question. If you say you're famous or that you do something or that you're a content creator or you're somebody noteworthy, the normal reaction is to be like, oh, like what do you do? It's a digger. That's what conversations are about. It's a fucking exchange of information. I'm saying something about myself. You ask about that. I ask about you. Blah, 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 blah. They're not judging you. They're not telling you to fucking prove, you know, that you do the job, or they're not. It's not like they ask you the question, oh, tell me a joke. They're saying, oh, what? Have I seen anything? Justify my existence. Whew.
Now I gotta be like, well, yeah, I've done this and that, and you know, and then here's where she drops the bomb on me, where I was just like, I don't want to talk to this person anymore, because she said, oh, you know what, you do look familiar with you.
That's actually a good point. I don't think it's true, but it's a good point. Big up King Bayo. I don't think it's true, but it's a good point. Micro celebrities are mean because they have to justify their celebrity. Meanwhile, famous people just be vibing. I don't think that's the case. I think there's just something. I don't think it's to that. That's an element of it. But I think, like I've said it before with comedians, they have this thing. Comedians in general don't like it when fans joke back at them. Have you noticed that? They always complain about it. So comedians will have this rapport with each other on podcasts. They'll be really like, you know, they'll be really ripping into each other. The fans love that. Oh yeah, they're ripping into each other. That's something that I do with my friends. Then you kind of comment and say the ripping to them in the comments in the same style, and they complain. Oh, you're being too familiar, parasocial, blah, 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 blah. You don't know me. But it's like, that's what you're putting out there. I'm just responding and acting, you know, to what kind of vibe you're putting out there. So I feel like with micro celebrities, they have this thing of like, it's almost like one way. They don't want it the other way. Like, consume my thing, view my thing, buy my thing, but don't talk to me. Like, don't talk. And you see a lot, even, look at a good example, the No Jumper universe. Look at T-Rail at fucking, on Back on Fig. He doesn't take feedback too well. Those guys, they almost see feedback as like an insult. It's almost like like they don't, it's weird. I've noticed a lot with these micro guys. They want like a one-way relationship. View my thing, give me money, subscribe, buy my merch, come to my shows, but don't say nothing back, especially if it's not praise or sucking my dick. It's very strange, very, very odd.
Your glasses and mustache, you look like Mr. Potato Head. Just like that. It wasn't even like she laughed afterwards. It wasn't even like she was like, ha, 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 or trying to be funny. She just straight up was like, yeah, you look like Mr. Potato Head. And I was like, as if Mr. Potato Head is a real person.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Comedian, man, professional jokester is now taking jokes literally. Comedian man cannot suspend belief. Comedian man is taking jokes so literally he can't oh my God. Oh my God. And you know what's funny? The more he keeps saying Mr. Potato Head, the more he's starting to look like Mr. Potato Head. Have you noticed that? The more you keep hearing him speak about this innocent, throwaway, random joke that a stranger made, and talk about how he doesn't care, but keep mentioning it, he now starts to look more and more like Mr. Potato Head. So he's, in a way, making it worse by continually talking about it. Classic.
As if, like, Mr. Potato Head got in her car one time and she was like, oh, that's Mr. Potato Head. Let me, hey, Mr. Potato Head, where you going? Like, no. So I was like, I shut down. I was like, in my mind, get me to the motherfucking airport. Like,
yeah, and the fact that
he's so sassy aggressive, isn't it? I never noticed that about him. He has a lot of like Dijon qualities about him. He's very sassy aggressive. Like, this guy is like, there's a lot of darkness in his body.
You know how a lot of comedians say they had to be funny growing up to keep from being bullied? I wonder if that's why so many of them are so touchy. It feels like when they were kids getting shat on.
Big up Austin Casey. I agree in part, but I also think it's giving them too much of a cop-out. I don't think that's the case across the board. Some, yes, but I don't believe across the board. I think it's too convenient. It's too convenient. I think some of them are just arseholes. Which I think is weird because you would imagine being a comedian is... How do I say this? You'd imagine it's a profession where you're probably more likely to interact with the regular person. Middle class or lower. Upper middle class, working class. You're going to interact with more regular people. Regular people are just like regular. They want to have a chat and hang out, but that's part of why they love you. They kind of like see a bit of themselves in you. Maybe you remind them of a friend, or maybe they just want to cheer on. They want to cheer you on from afar, and they like supporting you. They came to a show when it was just one person, and now you've got 1,000 people, and they want to be a part of their journey. But part of that exchange is the communication part of it. Like, you can't separate it. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to be a comedian and I'm not going to... It's like, that's not how it works, unfortunately. If you want a fan base, that's just part of the deal. But these people seem incapable of talking to their fans. Especially if they say something that they don't like. It's like, you could just not care and just not... But, I agree with you. Yes, the bullying thing is probably true because to be a comedian, there's a part of you that probably, that kind of expression, you know, you have to go through that experience to have that kind of level of expression, to tap into that maybe hurt, that pain, that darkness, whatever it may be. But I don't think all of them have grown up like that. It's also a bit of a, I remember Brendan Schaub saying, which is a good point Brendan made, like, not all comedians have had like, grew up in a trailer park, single mom, their dad fucking beat them with a fucking tire iron. It's not that. I think some of them are just sensitive. But not for a good reason, just because they are, which is odd because on pods they act like they're not, they don't care. Cancel culture, everybody's too woke and soy boys. And it's like, a person makes an innocent throwaway joke about you looking like a toy, and now you're viewing it as them denigrating or degrading you, you know, minimizing your achievements, calling into question why you got a career. It's like, whoa. I'm a Lyft driver. I just made a passing joke at the end of our conversation where you told me you're a comedian. So I said a joke. Get it? You're a comedian? Fucking hell. Big up Austin Casey.
He was serious about it, makes it even funnier. I mean, as a comedian, how do you not just laugh at that? And now it's a funny story to tell. But Eric, he got offended and went on Twitter while he was still in the car to complain about it. He said,
oh my God, my Lyft driver just said, you look familiar, Miss Patel. I'm silent as fuck. Like, just get me to the airport. This is going to be my very first bad rating. Y'all need an option to don't talk to me. This version of ranting and complaining is up there with, like, there was a Twitter account called DJs Complaining, and it was just a Twitter account full of DJs complaining about flights, like private jets and like taking too many flights and airports and hotels and concierge and bellboys. It was so funny because it was ridiculous. Like, oh, my bellboy didn't unload my Rimowa luggage. It's like, bruh, please. Comedians, let's not complain about Uber drivers communicating with you, please. You look so bad.
that my Lyft driver just said, you look familiar, like Mr. Potato Head. Now I'm silent. Like, just get me to the airport. He also said, this is going to be my very first bad rating. Y'all need an option. Don't talk to me. And I think that is an option now on Uber, at least. LYFT responded and said, "We are happy to get this issue taken care of for you. We'll DM you." But I don't know what they could really.
Yo, big up Brandon. Eric is miserable. He needs to leave the Bapaverse. No, he needs to tap into that misery. He's a miserable, bitter person. He needs to tap into it. Embrace the darkness and start making content about the shit that you don't like. Because all this like kumbaya shit, that's not really you. You clearly are he's clearly somebody that has a lot of opinions about where he should be in his career. He probably feels like he should be bigger and more famous and that person doesn't deserve this. Just tap into that. He'd probably make a lot more money doing that. He'd probably be a lot more successful. But he probably has this like inner battle. There's this inner war going on between two sides of himself where he's trying to do the Joe Rogan thing of like, oh, we're all friends, we're in comedy, uplift each other. But really deep down, he's like, do you know what I mean? Just embrace the darkness. Clearly you're a miserable cunt. Embrace it and make content about it, and let's see what I want. Because this whole like I'm a nice guy thing, it doesn't wash because a driver makes one passing joke and you want to get them fired. It's like, yo, you might be a bad person. Maybe, just maybe.
Really do about this unless Eric wants her to get in trouble or something, which would be ridiculous.
Exactly, Austin Casey, like Mark Maron. Exactly. Mark Maron is a consummate. There's a clip actually. There's a clip. I think I commented it on Twitter. There's a clip. There's a clip at the moment. Let me see if I can find it. There's a clip, right, that I need to play that's going to accurately tell you what I'm talking about. There's a clip at the moment. Let's see if I can do it. What's his name again? That's it. Let me find this clip. There's this clip that should illustrate to you what I'm talking about here, right? I think that's how you spell it, right? Let's see if I can find it in one search. There's a clip that I need to show you that will tell you everything that I'm talking about here. This is gonna make all the sense to you. There we go. The first one. Bingo. Okay, cool. In my opinion, I think one of the most important things in life, especially when you're creating content, is to be congruent, is to be honest, and is to be yourself. I feel like there's no point on getting online, talking to people that you don't know, and pretending to be someone that you're not. I don't know you motherfuckers out there. I love and appreciate you for watching me and tuning in and hanging out, but I don't know you motherfuckers. I have no reason to lie. So when I get in front of this microphone, when I get in front of this camera, I'm as honest as I can be about who I am, my points of view, how I feel, and I say it, come good or bad. Why not? Fuck it, it's the internet. It doesn't fucking matter really in the grand scheme of things. But there are some people who have this like need to always look like the good guy. I don't know if it's a good guy thing or if it's like you want to look unbothered, but because of that, you end up sounding worse. So in this particular clip, Ninja, as the caption says, tries to congratulate Kai Cenat for the record-breaking stream he did with Kevin Hart and Drewski. But in an effort to try and be gracious, because Kai Cenat broke his number of like viewers, whatever record for Twitch, he sounds even worse. He sounds like a pure hater. Even though he's trying not to hate, he sounds like one. So in my opinion, it's better to hate with your chest and actually talk about the things that you don't like with passion and vigor than it is to pretend like you're some kumbaya guy. Because when it comes a time where you have to congratulate somebody, the hate comes through and you can't help it because it's inside of you, because you think about it every single day and you can't hide. Even when you're in front of a camera or a microphone, you cannot hide. Listen to Ninja, try not to hate. Listen to him.
You see Kai beat your most viewer record last night? Hayden, the highest viewer record on Twitch is 3.34 million. Should I just make that my title, bro? Am I supposed to be offended, guys? Just put it in sub mode, man. It's a matter of time. Guy's probably the biggest streamer in the world right now. American, at least. FaceTiming LeBron James, dude. Drewski, Kevin Hart. Like, there in person. Come on, bro. What do you expect? There's so much fucking star power there. I've been live for 8 minutes. I've had hundreds of people tell me my record's been broken, right, guys? As of October 2023, first off, again, congratulations to Kai for beating my record. My record was like, what, 640? Something like that. As of October 2023, Twitch streamer iBuy holds the record for most concurrent viewers on a Twitch stream with 3.44 million. He reached this record in September 2023 while live streaming his La Velada del Año 3 event, breaking his own record. So, almost there, guys. We both just have to get 3.5 million viewers. No record got broken last night, except for mine.
Jesus Christ. The bitterness, the hate. he can't keep it down. He can't keep it down. In the beginning, he says, put the chat in sub-only mode. He's getting annoyed that people are reminding him that Kai Cenat is breaking his record. It's pissing him off. Put it on sub-only mode. 24 hours. It's like, bruh. That's what happens when you try and pretend like you're Kumbaya guy. The hate comes through anyway. So you might as well hate, as Kai Cenat says, as Austin Casey says, authentically. Love authentically, hate authentically. That's the message of the day.
I guess maybe LYFT would give him a credit or something. Like, I believe Tom Segura, he might have been joking about this, but he claims after the whole American Airlines situation, they gave him some miles. So if you're ever working your job and you're around one of these comedians, you know, you got to be careful, because if you're doing something they don't like, they're going to let your boss hear it. But it sounds like ERIK Griffin has always been somebody who's tough to deal with. Like Adam from Workaholics, he talked about how when he first heard that ERIK was going to play a character on there, he was really disappointed because he's worked with him in comedy before, and he said it was awful.
Remember you came in, you're like, I just.
He looks a lot like Yanis Papas, doesn't it? He looks a lot like Yanis Papas, especially in the middle of his face here. There's a lot of Yanis Papas in him, just there in the middle. They could be brothers if he had darker hair.
Met Montez, and I'm like, oh shit, who? And you were like, ERIK Griffin, and I know ERIK from doing stand-up, and I'm like, hard pass, absolutely not. No, I'm gonna say the nay, no, because ERIK is. I've become really good friends with ERIK.
Go off.
You see, look, in my opinion, I take this person's opinion of ERIK more. I consider this opinion more than a random person, because he's saying, me and ERIK are friends now. But in the beginning, when I didn't know him and we weren't friends, he was easy to hate because of X, Y, and Z. Even somebody that's close to him, a friend, is like, yeah, ERIK's a bit of a miserable cunt. ERIK's a bit of a hater. ERIK's a bit hard to get along with. And still there's no introspection. Still there's no like, oh, penny dropping moment. Still the issue is the people. Okay.
But ERIK is a total asshole, you know?
He's super nice. What?
He's super nice. He's super nice. Right. But when you're coming up in stand-up...
He's a bitch.
He was just like really mean.
What?
By the way, keep this in mind when I play the next video, because ERIK Griffin describes or explains why he was mean to this guy. Keep this in mind. Keep in mind what he's saying about ERIK, and listen to what ERIK says as a reason why he was a prick to this guy in the beginning.
Yeah.
He was mean?
That is not what I expected.
Are you saying, like, was he, like, checking you kind of thing? Like, that kind of comedy guy? Very nice. Like, just trying to, like, push you just to test you?
Yeah, no, he was like, he's like the sage old vet.
Right.
And he would always treat me like the rookie.
Yeah, and it's pretty ironic that's what he's like, because he works with Brendan Schaub. Like, if ERIK thinks comedians should put in the work and gain his respect, and if they don't, then he's going to treat him like trash, then what does he think of Brendan, who basically skipped all the beginning steps?
Exactly. And I wish Too Lazy to Try would say this. ERIK used to hate Brendan. ERIK said on a podcast with Bobby Lee, I think, I hated Brendan because he was this footballer guy coming into comedy. He didn't even hate him because of what he said. He hated him purely based on what he saw. Just his image. Which is even worse than the Fire and the Kids subreddit guys and the homeless cats. They hate him for legitimate reasons. They are mostly ex-fans that have taken in hours of content of this guy and deduced over the time period, okay, cool, he's a bit of a cunt. ERIK hated him off rip just by looking at him. And now he's cozying up to the guy, laughing full teeth on exposure and trying to be his best friend. Woo! Woo!
Jumped right to a Showtime special. I mean, you would think that would be something ERIK hates, but he does a podcast with him, and obviously at this point it doesn't really matter because Brendan's been done with comedy. It hasn't gone very well. But in the beginning, when Brendan put out his first special, I'd imagine ERIK wasn't too happy about it and was probably talking some shit. But back to the Mr. Potato Head thing.
Let's actually see. ERIK Griffin hates Brendan. He said it on Tiger Belly. Let's see if somebody's got the clip. I forgot what he said exactly, but he said something like why he hated him early on. I don't know if I can find it. I probably have to find it another time. But it was an episode, an early Tiger Belly episode where he said it. I remember. Big up NJ
He
Ranger.
has hated him. BC. He looks like the cool football player who bullied him in high school.
That's the one. Exactly. There we go. Exactly. So the reason they say most people that hate Brendan hate him because he would have bullied him in school, but Eric is the actual one that hated him because of that. So I can't find the episode. It might be this one actually, or maybe an earlier one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll find another time. Cool. Let's listen to Erik Griffin's reply. So big up to his to try. Check out his fucking video if you can. He's obviously doing great things. The video's already got 202,000 views. I don't think Erik Griffin, there's a single video in his account that has that many views. So that probably is another reason why he's pissed off again. But big up to his to try. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He's a fucking G. Listen to Erik Griffin's reply. Listen to Erik Griffin's reply to that video. Listen to how he tries to frame it. It's absolutely mind-numbingly crazy.
It's because, you know, it's gonna be like it's gonna be a whole thing.
Oops, that's a bit too much, right? Bad.
Like this guy.
Let's refresh that one more time. Let's refresh that one more time. Bear with me.
It's because
I love how that laugh he does in the beginning. That's always a tell. That laugh that he does is always a tell. That laugh that he does is always a tell. That little ha ha where he chuckles is always a tell. Actually, I think I might know where it is. Actually, because this is a bit granulated. Let me actually go to his channel. I think I know the timestamp. Because I obviously did the clip. I think I know what the timestamp is. I think it's about like 17 minutes in. And it's really sad too, because this clip is preceded by him being really cute and nice with his son on stream. So he has his son there. He's carrying him, cute little baby, and then he just goes into like a 20-minute hating session. It's like, bruh, you just had your cute baby in your lap. Like, come on, man, relax. It's not that deep. But anyway, whatever. I guess it is that deep. So this is the video, right? Let's actually play it because the clip that I got on my streamer was a bit pixelated. But he actually, I think it's around the 17 mark where he comes in and he just lets it be known.
You know, it's gonna be like
there we go.
Be a whole.
Here we go.
Like this guy.
So let's pause it here. When it loads, look, there's literally a cute. Before his wife comes in and takes the baby, he's sitting here with a cute little baby in his lap, and the baby's name is Wolf. I quite like that name actually as a kid. That's quite a cute name. The baby's name is Wolf. He's got his baby son in his lap, chilling, talking on the pod, living the life. This is a dream, right? You'd imagine. You're making money, you're supporting your family, and you get a chance to hang out with your kids at the same time. You don't have to go anywhere, you're chilling, you're living the fucking dream. You brought you brought a life into the world. It's amazing, cool, amazing, blessing. He goes from this into just like coping and seething about an innocent Mr. Potato Head joke. It's truly incredible.
It's because, you know, it's gonna be like a whole thing.
That chuckle, the coke
like
chuckle.
This guy, so funny. This guy made this like hater video about me, right? So funny. I don't know what his name is.
Hater video.
His name is Too Lazy to Try YouTube. That's his YouTube. I actually put a post of it on my thing. You know what's crazy is this guy made a hater video about me, and he gets more views than my podcast, and it's about me. I almost feel like I need to start doing hater videos about me. You know what I mean? Like
you see, he mentioned that already. That's the first thing that pissed him off. He saw the criticism, he saw the views, he created views with money, and he immediately got pissed off. Immediately got pissed off.
Just like rebrand the podcast, just hating on Erik.
Hater video.
Who is this guy?
Also, that video only exists because he shared that dumb story. Keep that in mind. That Too to Try video and my video don't exist if he doesn't say what he says. But we digress.
You know, so you know what I mean? And it's like now, like the video has 193,000 views of it now. I'm like, God damn. Do people like disliking me? You know what I mean?
Two, maybe, but mostly it's a dumb story. It's a funny story, and a lot of people get a lot of humor out of dunking and laughing at comedians who take themselves way too seriously. You included. Big up Omar Ramos.
Big up Oz. Big up
Omar Ramos. Wagwan Omar Ramos. Big up, big up, big up, big up.
Yeah, so anyways, I was on the Legion of Skanks, man. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know that podcast. And then
The Legion of Skanks, not a Legion of Skanks. The Legion of Skanks.
And that fan base is just like, that's a toxic. There's toxic fringe that watch that fan base. That's just.
Isn't that a bit of a cunty thing to say? You get invited as a guest on the show, and then you call their fan base toxic. Isn't that kind of a cunty thing to say? They invited you as a guest on their show. They share their platform with you. They share their viewers with you, and then you're calling them toxic. Are they toxic, or are you just a bad guest? Are they toxic, or they just hate you being on the show because you're shit?
It's, but they're all like that. There's bad friends, people who are like that just hit me up with negativity. There's like, you know what I mean? There's a fringe, I guess, of every podcast, and it's indicative of what happens online. So these people are just like inundating my message box and all this stuff. So I
just ignore it. They inundated your message box. Just ignore it. But he's the kind of person that thinks like he can reason with trolls. He can reason with haters. I'm going to tell them about themselves. I'm going to say to them, hey man, would your kid be proud of you? He does all that back and forth shit. He thinks he's like, if you're this sensitive and thin skinned, surely just ignore some of the stuff people say about you. That might be the best way to kind of deal with it.
I thought it was funny, so I went into the comments. You know what I mean?
That's the first mistake you made. You can never win. It's the internet. Everybody thinks you're a bitch. Everyone thinks you're thin skinned. This is the narrative. Just move on. You can never beat the internet. Either you ignore it or you don't. But if you don't ignore it, they're going to keep saying stuff about you.
Because I just think it's like the guy made a whole video. So anyways, so I'm on Legion of Skanks, and I tell this story about, and I've told this story before and other things, whatever. It's like, so I got into this lift a few years ago. I got into this lift. And this is the thing I didn't say about the story, because I was just trying to be funny in the moment with the Skanks, because we were talking about Uber and all this stuff. But I got into this, and then, by the way, Robert Kelly was telling me like he has a high rating because he talks to.
By the way, at this point, I swear to God, at this point, when he starts talking now, I honestly thought he was going to clear up the story and make it sound a lot better. Maybe he was going to say, oh, actually, I exaggerated. I wasn't actually live tweeting to get them fired. I was trying to make it a bit. Like, I thought that was what he was going to do. But listen to how he tries to justify and explain and reason as to why what he did was okay. Trying to get Lyft driver fired because they made a throwaway joke that he didn't like. Listen to how he tries to explain it.
To people, and he's nice to them, and it was the whole interaction, right? So anyways, I get into this Lyft. Now, I'll never forget this, and it's not because she made a joke, because I don't really care. Bobby Lee is the one that called me Mr. Potato Head. Rick Glassman took it further and got me this cup. This, you know what I mean? This Mr. Potato Head cup. Like, I don't like listen, I don't care, right? You know what I mean?
Really? I couldn't tell.
Call me whatever. All right. So the point is, all right, so that was a thing that was in my head. I knew about that. So anyways, I get into this lift, and the lady was like weird, like autistic type weird,
Already, you thought he was going to make it better, but he's making it worse. Now he's saying she's autistic. Now he's judging. Now he's labeling. Now he's being almost, is it ableist? That's the word, right? Now this woman that made a joke that he didn't like is autistic. Oh, God, Eric.
Not that being autistic is weird. I'm just giving you an example of what, like.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
I don't even know if that's what it was. I'm saying it was autistic-like.
Oh, yeah. That makes it so better.
Bizarre.
So you're Mr. Potato-like. That makes it better, right? You're built like a sack of potatoes-like. That makes it better. Just adding the like on it makes it better, right?
The internet isn't real life. Aaron Steele toe him hold. Pre-wildly public divorce.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. 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 The people who try to act the most unbothered are always the most bothered. Always the most bothered. Why wouldn't it bother you? Why are you pretending? Oh, big up MJ Ranger. Exactly. The internet is real life. Fast forward, very public divorce in which you got cucked by a fucking cokehead. You have to be embarrassed. But yeah, big up MJ Ranger.
Like, the way she said it, she said it was, this is what I'm saying. I didn't express it when I was telling this story, but I'm telling you now because we can get more in-depth and into it. It's like, the girl was like contemplating, you know? And she was...
Oh my God. Look how sinister. So she was an autistic, conniving, sinister, contemplating, premeditating, horrible, insulting joke person that happened to be a Lyft driver. Okay.
Being like real, like standoffish.
And then she autistic,
says,
menacing.
You know, you look like Mr. Potato Head.
Ouch.
I can laugh about it now.
That laugh is not a laugh. He's angry. That's not a laugh. That's a cope. He's seething. People like this are usually the most dangerous because when they snap, everybody dies. He's that meme. He's that meme of the person fucking laughing with the face, but then crying behind it. He's that meme. Cause think about it. When an NPC loses it, everybody fucking dies. Because they've been trying for a long time to act like, everything's fine. I have a wife and a baby and a career that I love and friends and colleagues. Everything is fine. I love my life. I'm happy just the way I am. I'm happy exactly where I am with the career that I have. I love it. My wife is lovely. I wouldn't change anything about my life. And then deep down, they're like, I should be on Netflix. I should be on HBO. Fuck Brendan. Has he have this show? He has a Porsche and a Lambo and a Latina. I have this fucking girl that works as a VM at Target and she keeps nagging at me. This baby is fucking dumb. This job is dumb. Why doesn't Rogan invite me to fucking Austin? Why does he buy me a house? Why don't I have a Lambo? Then when he snaps, everybody's mum is crying. Everybody's mum's got a fucking airbrush t-shirt. GoFundMe everywhere. Doves getting released into the sky. Everybody's dying. RIP posts everywhere. He's taking everybody out. Because that rage is there. But he's trying to keep a good face on it.
I was like, it wasn't even like, if she was making a joke, like let's say she's a fan of Tiger Belly or she's a fan of whatever. Or if the lady was trying to be funny. You know when somebody's trying to be funny? You know, they're saying like, hey man, you know, this was like...
By the way, as a last thing about this, surely as a comedian, you have to be okay and put up with people trying to be funny. That should be like an unfortunate side of the job. You say you're a comedian. Oh, tell me a joke. You say you're a comedian. Oh, do you know Ricky Gervais? There has to be certain things that you are aware of and you can anticipate when you mention you're a comedian. And maybe you safeguard around it and you just stop mentioning you're a comedian. You're like, oh, what do you do? You know, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Import, export. I work in public relations. I don't know. You make up a thing just to avoid the awkward, annoying questions at the end. But you should be used to it now. It shouldn't annoy you to this level. You've probably heard it a million times. Why does it bother you like this? That's the thing that's really bugging me out. It's like, this is a throwaway interaction. We've all got into a million Ubers, a million cabs. We probably can't remember a conversation if you tried right now, but you remember them in the moment. But they just disappear afterwards because they don't matter. Your life just continues. But this guy is like holding on to this shit. And it's like, how many people have called you Mr. Potato Head over the entirety of your career? Why are you this bothered? Why?
Like, serious. Like, it just threw me for a loop. I didn't appreciate it. It wasn't even about it being a joke.
I didn't appreciate it. It hurt my feelings.
It just was like the way she said it. So
How did she say it? you look like Mr. Potato Head. Or she say, hey, nigga, I don't even know if you're a nigga. You look like Mr. Potato Head. Uh-huh. Or what did she say? How did she say it? How could she have said it that would hurt your feelings? How?
You know, I remember I went on Twitter while she was talking. She was just saying stuff. I wasn't even listening. I was just like, hey, I got into your Uber. And then anyway,
Also, if you're gonna snitch, at least be a man about it and say, bitch, shut the fuck up. Who you calling fucking Mr. Potato Head? I pay your fucking wages. You know what? Fuck that. You're getting fired. I'm gonna tweet them right now. At least be a man and own up to it. Don't just sit there and be like, and then like be fucking, you know, like a little whatever, you know the word I want to say, behind the seat, like underneath so she doesn't see the screen. At least say you're gonna do it.
You know, LYFT tweets back at me and you know, right? So anyways, I tell this story. Well, man, now
LYFT tweets back at me. I'll give them my customer ID number. I'll give them my date of birth and my zip code. I told them the first line of my address and I file an official complaint. But I haven't heard from them just yet. Ugh. Yuck.
Turns into a whole thing. So this guy makes a video about me, about doing this. And then he goes deep into my podcast, like 2018.
I love how he's using that as an insult. Bro, you said these guys are so bad. Consume my podcast. Use my discount code. Buy my merch. Buy tickets to my show. Watch my special so I can get good view numbers so I can renegotiate and get more money for my next special. But don't, under any circumstances, call me out on the things that I've said on my own recorded show. Because those shows, they live in a silo. They live in the moment. When I drop them, that's when I drop them. But you can't refer to them when I drop another one. Yo, you said it on your own show. Tools to Try just went on your fucking... It's easy to do. He probably went on fucking podcast transcript site, searched LYFT, and found the reference of it. Or maybe searched on Google, saw it, clipped it. But you said it with your own words, and now you're trying to use it against him. Oh, he's being parasocial. He's looking too deep. He's being... So you said it! You fucking said it!
And finds a video about me talking about something complete. Like, this is two different scenarios. The thing I was talking about in 2018 was about, you know, somebody not getting the bags.
So he thinks this is better, by the way. He thinks this is better. He thinks that because the stories are different, it makes him look better. But what it actually proves is that you're a bitch. You were complaining about a woman not picking up your bags, and then you complained when a woman bullied you and called you Mr. Potato Head. That doesn't make you look better. I'm not gonna lie.
When it was like, that's what they're there for, you know. But anyways, so he grabbed that and like put them together, and then of course the idiots online made it out to be one thing, like it was all the same thing, and it wasn't, you know.
The idiots online. I don't care, by the way. I don't care. Idiots online.
You know, you go on this thing and I see it and I start, you know, commenting myself because, again, I think it's...
Of course, anyone that doesn't care jumps into the comments and starts commenting. Great strategy. Great strategy, Eric.
I even posted it on my channel.
Great. I'm sure Tools to Try needs a promotion. I'm sure Tools to Try needs your marketing help. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he was chuffed to see you post his clip on your page. I'm sure.
Posted my thing, you know, because I thought it was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Somebody went through all this trouble, but you know, I don't begrudge the guy. This is how the guy makes money. You know what I mean? Like, this is literally what he does. It's like that other guy, you know, who's always watching.
He's talking about Red Bar. Look at him, the dread. He's talking about Red Bar. He's so scared. Honestly, these comedians are so dumb. I get it. Red Bar can be annoying. I get it. Red Bar can be Red Bar can be methodical. I get it. Red Bar is Red Bar. But it's just the guy saying his opinion on the things that you say. It's not that deep. And these guys are scared. The guy doesn't leave his studio. And they're legitimately scared of this guy because what? Because he says mean stuff about you on a podcast that's behind a paywall. Why does it matter? Big up Red Bar.
You know? It's like, if that's what you do, that's what you do. If this is how you make money, make money.
What? You make money complaining about Lyft drivers. Other people make money taking the piss out of you complaining about Lyft drivers. I think we're all in the same position here. No one's better than the other, to be honest. If anything, you're probably a bit lower than us because you have a career as a professional comedian. You work in fucking Hollywood. Why are you bothering? Why do you care about some random YouTube channel had to say about a story that happened like, if you don't care, why are you speaking about it? Simple as that.
Hey, how he's doing it is better than what I'm doing, right? So then you like, of course it's like you have to say all kinds of hater stuff about me. You know what the thing that I resent in the video more than anything else is when he says, "Oh, he's just a podcaster. That's all he's doing now." That's the part that got me. Like everything else they said, I don't care. Have fun at it. But you think that's all I'm doing is like, but that's for the video. But I mean, I just did a movie that was in Tribeca. I just did another movie with Al Pacino and Vince Vaughn are starring in the movie. It's a little part, very little. I got one scene, but I'm in the movie, I did George Lopez last year. I'm also directing. I've directed 4 comedy specials. One of them is the most watched special of last year. I just directed another one, and I directed this other, I just joined the Directors Guild. You know what I mean? Like, to think that like just because the podcast world y'all don't watch movies or like care about anything else but being negative, those negative people, like, come on now, don't just.
I'm not gonna lie. Big up. I don't know why it didn't show up. Big up Valdez family. I think maybe there's a word here that's banned. Maybe Red Bar's banned. Maybe Red Bar's flagged somehow. Maybe Red Bar's flag. It didn't come up. I don't know why the teachers didn't sound it. That's hilarious. Maybe YouTube has automatically flagged Red Bar's name. That's so funny. Big up Valdez family. Red Bar is a comedian boogeyman. He must be. Streamlabs has automatically flagged his name. So what is it? Oh, there we go. Now it comes up. Okay, now it comes up. I was about to say.
Red Bar's the comedian boogeyman.
There we go. Big up Valdez family. Appreciate you. I'm in no position to offer anybody advice or anything. But I think if you're Erik Griffin, if you are being described as just a podcaster and people aren't looking at your other achievements and aren't congratulating you for the other things that you're doing, which you mentioned, producing, directing, acting, maybe think about how you present yourself online. Maybe do a Theo Von and back away from Brendan. Maybe start promoting and pushing out the things that you do that don't just involve you sitting in front of a show microphone. Maybe show other sides of yourself that don't involve you complaining about haters and acting like you don't care. Maybe do that. And then people will notice, oh shit, this guy does other shit apart from just talking about stuff on pods. He actually produces, he actually writes, he actually directs, he actually acts. Maybe present that more. But no, you don't, do you? Because that shit pays well. So you do the easy thing. You sit down with donuts and diddlers. Then you get, because that's what's happened to him basically. Because he's sitting down with Brendan and because he's sitting there with Dalia, he's now got their stink on him a little bit. Because again, I've never been the biggest Erik Griffin fan. There's something about bitchy, moany, crybaby men that fundamentally at my core, just I can't stand. It's not to do with him personally. It's just guys who act like this, who bitch and complain and moan and are entitled and are complainy and just whiny and babyish and just look at the face he's got there. That face that he has there. I'm sure you've all had mates and people that you've known in your life, guys who have this type of face. This constantly just like, everything's always just like, it's too cold. It's too warm. I'm hungry. Why are you loving to drink? Like, it's always just like something always, like people like this I just dislike anyway. But I think regular people don't even know nothing about Erik Griffin. But because he sits next to Brendan and Chris, he gets some of their stink. So if he's annoyed at how he's being perceived, maybe stop hanging around with Brendan and Chris. Maybe forego that check and do your own thing and push out your own thing, and people will maybe start taking you a little bit more seriously. Because clearly in comedy, he's good. He's good enough to get a residency at fucking the mothership. Even though him and Rogan don't appear to be the closest, Rogan still rates him enough as a comedian to be like, hey, come and do the comedy mothership. Have residency. Do you know what I mean? He's clearly funny. People in my stream chat always say they've seen him do stand-up and he's actually quite good. He's clearly a good actor because he keeps getting roles. He's clearly good at producing and directing because he keeps getting gigs. maybe focus on that shit and stop sitting next to Chris and Brendan, and people won't think you're a piece of shit. Because they're pieces of shit. That's what it is. The company you keep is the company you keep, my guy.
You know? And then it's like, you know, you see some of the comments. Oh, this is, you know what? How I read comments, we should read these comments. That's actually funny. You know what I mean? Like, we should read the comments from this video. That's the comments that we should read, right? That would actually be, would that be kind of funny?
That's a bad idea. That's a really bad idea. A really bad idea. A really, really bad idea, and a complete waste of your time. You should be above this. This shouldn't be what you're doing. I should be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. You have a career in Hollywood. You write and direct. Like, what are you doing? Why are you reading these comments that are clearly going to get to you? Why would you do this to yourself and then say you're not bothered? Oh my God.
All right, so it's got like 194,000 views now, right? Good grief. So like this one guy says,
No. Austin Casey, you got it wrong, and this is more annoying. Austin says, I bet Eric is one of the type of people that says, excuse me, I didn't get my side of ranch. He's more annoying than that. He's the kind of person, I bet you don't gonna bring my ranch. Every time I come in here, they never bring the ranch. They never bring it. I don't know why. You order the wings and never bring the ranch. It's so fucking annoying. The waitress comes. Oh, here's who's got the wings? Oh, me, thank you. The wings come. There's no ranch. See what I mean? They haven't got the ranch. So instead of directing the complaint to the person who can bring the ranch, they pre-complain before the wings get there. The wings get there, they don't have the ranch, and they turn to you and complain instead of complaining to the person in front. Then the person in front leaves, and then they go, then you have to get the person to come back. And then it takes them, you almost have to pull teeth to get them to complain to the waitress, because now they feel like, oh, now you put me on the spot. Bitch, you want the ranch? Ask the person who can get the ranch. That's the most annoying thing that he is. That kind of person. You pre-complain, then you complain, not getting a resolution. Then when the girl takes 3 or 4 minutes longer, or let's say this, he complains about the ranch. The girl goes to the back. She comes back out and she puts food on another table. Then he's like, oh, where's my ranch? Because she didn't immediately come out and give him the ranch, he complains that the girl came out and served somebody else before. And she better not dare serve 2 more people. Then he's going to put his arms up in the air like YURIY. Oh, where's my ranch? Bitch, wait! And if you don't want it, if you want it so quickly, stand up and go to the kitchen door and say, hey, excuse me, can I get some ranch, please, sir? Fuck! I hate, honestly, there's nothing that I hate more than bitchy men. Men should be fucking leaders, stalwarts, stoic. Even keeled. When you cry, you cry. When you laugh, you laugh. Not always crying, always laughing. That's maniacal and that's depressing. Sort it out. Middle. Go, fucking hell. Always crying and complaining. Shut up. Sorry. Lo siento.
Eric is notoriously thin-skinned. He used to stream on Twitch, and basically anyone who wasn't kissing up to him constantly got permabanned. That sounds like a troll bitch who said some dumb shit and got banned. Right? Yeah. So that sounds like a hater. Whatever. I still stream on Twitch. ERIK Griffin Gaming. Come check me out. Let's see. Now this is a funny one. I wonder if he put his angry eyes on when he was complaining to the lift.
Those laughs are never real. That's maniacal, man. This guy is deep down. There's a lot of rage there. By the way, be careful. If ever you bump into ERIK Griffin, he might snap on the wrong day and he might just blow everyone's head off. That laugh was maniacal.
That's funny. I gotta give that guy a thumbs up. That one's hilarious. I gotta even comment. That is funny. So that's a funny one right there. You know, just people make.
He thinks like because he's a comedian, he says something's funny as if like it's an honor. You're not fucking Messi complimenting my fucking kick-ups. Don't give a fuck.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people that are having fun, you know. Then, of course, you know, there's some, you know, like, this is the one. This guy's like, calling this guy comedian is a stretch. It's like, what?
I love how he puts the voice, by the way, the hater voice. Ugh. All haters sound like Chads to him. Dude, did you hear Erik Griffin's new special? Oh my God. It's so like shit. It's so weird. And also, what is he? Is he like black? Is he like Taliban? Or is he like white? It's so weird. Every guy to him sounds like a Chad. Oh my God, dude. I was just at the fucking building on Jan 6. I was watching Erik Griffin and I'm like, who is this guy? He's fucking shit. He's a douche. All guys sound like that, yeah? All haters sound like that. All right, cool.
I invite anyone come to any of my shows out of town. I guarantee you will have a good time.
No one's gonna come, especially when you look like that. No one's gonna come. You know, more cum jokes can be explained and later on, you know, whatever. But no one's gonna come to your shows, especially when you're bitching and complaining about a 5-year-old Lyft driver called a 5-year-old incident where a Lyft driver called him Mr. Potato Head in passing. This doesn't fill me with excitement to come to your shows. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm hilarious. I'm not hilarious on this podcast because that's not what I do on here.
Oh really? You don't try and make jokes on a podcast? You want to be serious? Well, okay, cool.
Come check me out. And I appreciate that there were some people in the comments of that were like, yeah, I've gone to see him many times. He's super funny. So it's just one of those things. It's like haters gonna hate, right?
Why don't you focus into that? If there are people in the comments saying, hey, this guy's actually funny, but there's people in the comments also saying you're a piece of shit and calling you a baby and complaining a bitch, why not think, hey, let me try and rewrite the narrative on myself online. Let me focus in on the comedy and remind people that I'm actually good at my job. I'm actually funny. I'm hilarious. I'm worth the ticket price. I'm worth the effort. Why not do that? Why not think, hold on, I don't like how I'm being perceived. Let me change that. Is that possible?
Right. You know, there's just so many of these. You know, honestly, worse Karen behavior because you expect Karens to not have a sense of humor. Jokes are literally this guy's job.
That's a brilliant comment. That's a brilliant comment. That's a brilliant comment. It's actually worse than Karen behavior because he's a professional comedian. You should be able to take jokes or at least let the jokes bounce off of you. At least, if you can't take the joke, you should at least be able to glaze over them. Hey, you're not funny. And keep it moving. You don't have to laugh. You don't have to entertain it. You don't have to validate it. You could just move on. But to sit there and like, she called me Mr. Potato Head. I didn't like it. So I tried to get her fired. And shut up. I just want a driver to don't talk to me. I want an option where it says, don't talk.
It's like, again, it wasn't a joke. If it was a joke, I would have laughed.
Oh shit! Sorry, NJ Ranger. I missed it. Sorry.
Joke. It was just a weird interaction, but whatever.
It wasn't a joke to you because you didn't find it funny, but they did attempt to try and make a joke. That's how jokes work. Someone says it, then you hope the person laughs. If they don't laugh, it wasn't a funny joke, but it was an attempt at a joke.
And there's all these people about, going in about stuff. And there was one, the reason why.
Going in about stuff. I'm assuming the other comments are about Brendan and stuff, but he doesn't want to talk about that, does he? Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna move on now and go Tfatk K. I don't think Erik is really that bad in general. It's not a crime to be a bitch. It's not a crime to be a bit of a limp-wristed man and to be whiny and complaining. It's not a crime. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't like it. I think it's abhorrent. I think he should be, I think he should lay down in front of a tank and get run over. But it's not a bad thing. You can be whoever you want to be. I honestly think Erik Griffin's major problem is that he's associated with Brendan and Chris D'Elia. I think the association with Brendan Schaub and Chris D'Elia is damaging him online so badly that people are taking such an such a minor story and blowing it up because he's friends with Brendan and Chris. He just looks extra stinky. But he can't let them go because the check is good and the money is good, so he stays there. But you have to let those guys go, bro. If you want people to perceive you differently and to take you seriously, or to not think you're a cunt, or to not think you're a dickhead, or to not think this or that, whatever. That association with Brendan and Crystalia is ruining him. It's ruining him. I swear to God, I think that's the main thing. Because in general, if you think about it really, my annoyance to a side, his petty Karen behavior to a side, it's not really that big of a deal. People just laughing at him more because he's fucking associated with Brendan and Crystalia. A diddler, and people who, you know, assume to be a bully and a douchebag. If he moves away from those two guys, similar to Theo Von, and he stops complaining online and stops bitching and moaning, his career, whew. Even Bobby Lee, who's known to complain, part of Bobby Lee's shtick and his act is complaining and being a bit of a baby. Even Bobby Lee used to complain about Eric Griffin whining. If Bobby Lee complains about your whining, you're probably whining a bit too much. Because he whines too. It's his brand. He whines, he complains. And he says he can't even handle you. Oh. Big up, big up, big up, big up.
I'm not saying that Erik is as popular as Segura, but I would think he learned from Tom's airport meltdown.
Oh yeah. But that's the thing you're not, I think that's the thing that we're not seeing here for these people. I don't think they know how they're perceived. I don't think they get it. They don't get how they're perceived. They don't understand. Like, I said it before plenty of times here. I think that's one of the reasons why the Jakes and Logan Pauls and those type of people are so successful. They like understand why people don't like them. They don't change, obviously. They don't change. But they understand why people don't like them. They get it. They understand their perception. They understand that they're easy to hate. I think these comedians, for some reason, don't know why people won't like them. Like, they have no understanding of why they are annoying. They don't get it. It's like, bruh, like, how do you not understand why you're annoying? You don't have to change. You don't have to acquiesce. You don't even have to acknowledge it. But you have to at least understand why somebody could see you for the first time, hear you speak and think, cunt. You have to understand that, because then you can lean into it and make more money for it and become more successful, like the Paul brothers have done. They understand who they are and they troll against it. They don't change, they don't whatever, but they know how they're perceived. These guys have no perception. It's like they see themselves completely different in the mirror. It's almost amazing. Anyway, let's move on. Tfatk episode number 1000. We're not gonna do the whole thing at the moment because there's a lot to get through. It's about 3 hours, but let's do it right now. Let's do it right bloody now, okay? Let's do it right now. Tfatk 1000. Let's see where the energy's at, by the way. This is episode number 1000. Let's see what the energy's like. I'm curious to see the energy. But to be fair to them, the lineup is pretty good. Chris Stefano, Will Sasso made an appearance, which is wild because I thought Will Sasso hated them. And I thought Will Sasso was trying to keep away from anything to do with Tfatk because he doesn't like Crystalia and a diddling, and he kind of ran away from Brian Callen. Andrew Schultz is there, which is interesting too, because of the alleged beef that BGL said him and Schultz had. Rappaport is there. I'm not surprised. You know, he's usually friends with those guys. And Crystalia obviously makes an appearance. So a pretty decent lineup, I'm not going to lie. They managed to get the two former guests of the year in Sasso and Crystalia. They didn't get Theo Von though. Theo should be there, really. Theo should have been able to call in, but Theo didn't. So that shows you where their relationship is. Theo really should have been there. Let's be honest. Theo's got no excuse not to be there. The fact that he couldn't just make a quick call, do a quick, you know, even on the phone, not even over fucking FaceTime. That's a little bit sus. Anyway, let's watch it. Enough of me rambling and my fucking intro. Let's go. Tfatk episode number 1000.
This is really the Fighter and the Kid.
Come on, baby. First thing first, we gotta
podcastables. Are they in the studio or is it all on Zoom? What do you think? Come on, what do you think? You know the answers to this. You know.
A huge show.
1,000, buddy.
1,000.
Do we look at our boy Brian?
Shout out to Brian Johnson. He's the best.
Wow,
Brian Johnson came here and made that for us, man.
Wow, 1,000 fighter in the kid. That's my tattoo, guys. I just found out the tattoo I'm getting on my very flat chest. And my joke the other day,
Hey, yo, big up Omar Ramos.
Big up pause. I'm off to go perform poor people activities at my normie corporate gig. Wishing you and the chat all the success in the world. Until next time, my friend.
Yes. So until next time, mi amigo. Until next time, hombre. Until next time, chico. Have a good one, brother. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the corporate gig, mate. Don't punch the monitor. Don't kill anybody unless they deserve it, obviously. And I'll see you next time. Take care, brother.
said, I no matter what I do when I work out, I stay about as muscular as your average mannequin, and that's fine.
Facts.
Now, I want to just plug Nashville this weekend.
Wow. Okay.
I know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, bro. Super low energy levels, and Brian, bloody hell. You know what? Yo, I'm gonna have to go on Ozempic. Look at how frail and small and size 0 Brendan is. He's literally about to be the same size as Brian Cannon. Look, he's literally sinking into the chair. Even his hips don't fucking reach the edges of the fucking back seat anymore. I have to get on fucking Ozempic. Look at him. He's literally the same size as Brian Callen. And Brian Callen's the build of a fucking 15-year-old girl that plays volleyball. Look at him. Look at the t-shirt. Look at how much space is in there. Nah, I have to get on it, man. Sorry, I know you guys keep telling me, Agostino, don't do it. Do it the healthy way. Do it the real. Fuck the real way. Fuck eating well. Fuck exercise. Let me fucking jab myself in the stomach and fit into size 32 jeans, okay? Leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm doing this. So look at Brendan. Look at him. He's got skinny jeans on, and they're not skinny. His whole leg. Look at the bagginess. He's so skinny now. His skinny jeans look like baggy jeans. Fuck that. I'm getting on Ozempic.
Zanies, come see me. That's all we're going to do.
That's what we're doing with our
this
time.
This is 1,000.
Yep.
Let's go. We got cupcakes.
Sinaj, you made these cupcakes?
I did.
Did you make those cupcakes?
I made those.
How'd you make them? From what?
To be big up Stephen Castaneda. Supposedly Oprah's in hospital because Ozempic messed up her stomach. To be fair, Oprah's the type of fat person who would still eat mac and cheese with her stomach stapled. Let's be fair. Oprah's like OG fat. She's OG big back. You know what I mean? She's OG big back. She doesn't believe in cheat meals. She believes in cheat days, cheat weekends. So I could imagine her being on Ozempic, losing a bunch of weight, and literally force feeding herself like curry goat. Do you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't play with food. Like, she's a foodie. So, you know, I get it. She's the kind of person, if she got her stomach cut, she'd fucking, you know, cut smaller. She'd fucking explode those fucking stitches in a heartbeat. For the love of the game. Just because she loves food too much.
You know, normal cupcakes.
But I did do the funfetti because I know B likes it.
No, but
to be fair, hey, Gail Mibson, fuck me dead. This is low effort for 1K shows, Muffin and 2 Hot Wheels. But if Sanaz wasn't there, what would they have? If Sanaz wasn't there, they wouldn't have anything. That's how low effort the show is. So give her some credit. If she wasn't there, they'd have nothing. So she did something. So pick up her. So that's the thing.
I was eating icing out there on my own.
You were? Huh?
I need some energy.
Let me taste this.
A little energy. Callan's such a...
Outstanding.
Ah,
the icing's nothing
I love
better.
Sanaz.
Dude, 1,000 shows.
This is how they start the 1,000 show.
Pal,
buddy,
more
icing, Brian eating into the microphone, and meandering conversations about the fucking decorations. This is how they start the 1,000th show. You'd imagine it's a 1,000th show. It's come after all the cancellations, all the controversies, all the career changes, all of the issues, all of the dramas, successes, failures. You'd imagine this would be a celebration. We're still here. Thank you to the fans. Big up everybody holding us down. It's been tough. Pandemic, wars, this, Rogan moving, blah, blah, blah. Comedy Mothership, ignoring me. All these things that you've overcome and you're still around. Podcast 1, whatever it may be. Celebrate, be boastful, be happy, be like, yeah, we did it, we're still here. And thank the fans. Be like, oh my God, fans, thank you for still holding us down. I know sometimes the show's not the greatest. I know sometimes we phone it in. I know sometimes we've been low energy. I know sometimes we bring too much personal shit. I know sometimes it's not the funniest, but thank you for still being here. You fans are the ones that hold us down. You've allowed us to do this as our job, as our careers. You help us to achieve our dreams and to bring you good shows. We're thankful. No, you get a beginning where Brian is awkwardly eating a cupcake. It's almost like he's being forced to eat it. And Brendan's like trying to make the podcast chug along. So low energy. So miserable. Come on, guys.
More than that, though.
Buddy,
Actually,
I love
more
you.
than that.
You sent me a fucking video. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's really good. You sent me a video, and it was a guy who said,
there's nothing more annoying than guys who don't like eating like confectionery things, isn't it? He doesn't look at the type. It's not his fault. But guys are like, it's almost like he's being bothered because he has to eat a cupcake. Just eat the fucking cupcake. Like, why are you acting like I gave you a ribeye and 4 potatoes? Like, just eat the fucking cupcake. You can eat it in one bite. At least I could. At least OG big back motherfuckers can eat that in one bite. Just eat the fucking cupcake. It's a cupcake. What's wrong with it? It's like, oh, this is too rich. This is like really rich. Man, shut up.
there are a couple guys you can call 3 a.m.
Oh, it's really sweet. It's fucking icing.
Yep.
And I like that you sent it. All you do is send me a video about a soldier saying they're the 3 a.m. friends.
I think he was a Navy SEAL.
He's a 3 a.m. friends. Like you get a call at 3 a.m. You just hear them getting their gear together, and you sent that to me. That's all you had to do.
That's it.
That was our intimacy. That was him saying, you know, that's how friends who are guys talk.
No, that's how podcasters talk. I've never once seen a video on TikTok and sent it to my friend and said that, hey, this is us. I've never done that. If you do that, you're gay.
We don't have to say anything. He just sent me a video.
And you're the only friend I sent it to.
You're damn right I'm the only
Because he's the only friend you got.
friend.
Notice I didn't send it to the group chats we had. No,
dude.
No. You guys don't deserve that.
No.
'Cause I don't know.
You don't know. You know with me.
Yeah.
I got to do what I got to do.
To be fair, though, Brian does hold him down. Whenever there's a controversy, whenever something goes wrong, I really recently watched a video with the Bobby Lee thing. Brendan's the one that caused the issue with Bobby Lee. Brendan's the one that sent Kalila the fucking DM. Brendan's the one that tried to fucking clap Kalila's cheeks while she was with Bobby Lee, while Bobby Lee's his friend, while he's married. Brendan started the whole beef. But then he lets Brian sit there and like explain and cope and cape and all this shit. And it's like, brother, you always interrupt him. You always never let him finish a sentence. But the moment you do something that people aren't happy with and you get called out for it, you let him take the bullets. He has to stand in front of you. He's that meme. He's a soldier. While you're fucking sleeping tidy, he's the one fucking taking all the bullets for you. When he did nothing, all he did was shout at Bobby Lee over the phone because he wants to protect his cash cow. Brian's not dumb. He knows the only thing that's really holding him down is Tfatk. You can't let that shit go. He doesn't have that horrible podcast with Sam Tripoli anymore. He does his own pod, but you know he's inconsistent. He knows where his bread is buttered, so he's gonna always protect you. So of course that's your friend. But then again, you don't respect him a lot, do you?
My wife would be like, "What are you doing?" I go, "What do you want me to do?" Hey, thanks for the 1,000 episodes. Thanks for the fucking 14 years. But I need my sleep.
Yeah. We've been doing a hot second.
Yeah.
And what I was saying in the post is obviously there's a million podcasts now. You got to realize when we started, it was not the landscape was not like this. No. We're the first, I think, pro athlete comic duo ever.
There was still a lot of podcasts back then. I like when people keep saying these things as if like they didn't start podcasting in like 1998. There was still a lot of podcasts when they started. Like, let's relax with like, oh, we were one of the first people. Like, let's relax.
No, that is a fact.
Yeah.
No, the first.
The first.
Dirty comedian, cage fighter.
Yep.
Podcast. Okay. Yeah. You first.
Where they rarely talk about podcasts, where they rarely do comedy.
Guys,
where they rarely talk about fighting, rarely do comedy.
This is your thing. Graphics, selling merch, live podcasts were your idea.
Yep.
Remember, I was like, I don't want to do this because I'm on the road. You're like, let's fucking do some live. I'm like, live.
Do you remember in the beginning where Brian used to like big time the pod? He'd never turn up on time. Sometimes he wouldn't turn up because he was trying to take auditions. He really wanted an excuse to kind of get out of the pod anyway. He wanted a gig to hit, a big TV show. It never really took off until the end, which is kind of cruel. He only started to get gigs towards the end, but then towards the end is when he got cancelled for the rape thing. And it's like, fuck, just when your career is about to kind of have its second wave, an ex-girlfriend says, "You raped me."
Live pod. What are we going to do with live podcasts? We started doing that.
And remember, I was like, no, you can't just sit there with mics and talk. That's going to suck for a live experience.
And then we saw the podcast they did live at the fucking Vulcan, and it did fucking suck.
Yeah.
And then that's where your training came in. You're like, oh, we'll do like improv, we'll have bits. I'm like, yeah, we'll write it all out, have a plan.
And nobody cares now. But let me just say this. If you and I had started now, if we were in our, you know, if you reverse the time, we were before people were making that crazy.
I love how they're not mentioning Rogan. Rogan is the major thing in all of these guys' career. Without Rogan, you're not still here. Rogan's the one that supercharges everybody. Rogan presses the button. They would have still had a popular podcast, but would it still be here after all these years? Probably not. Rogan is the differential, especially with this guy. He had the highest single appearances on Rogan at one point. He probably still has a record now, I think. Rogan's a major thing. Let's see if they mention Rogan.
You know what I think about it is...
Also, why isn't Rogan on this episode?
You remember when we were kids, especially you, but especially me too, when you were kids, there was like 7 channels.
Yeah.
And those 7 channels were popping. They were good.
They were popping.
They were good, man. Weren't they fun? And man, there's a lot of talent there. They were good.
Yeah, bro.
And then cable came out.
And
now streaming's out. We're one of the original, like Channel 4, Channel 7, Channel 9, and they're fun, and we're old timers.
A lot of fun.
But now that streaming's here,
now my dentist has a podcast.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Is he trying to say that their numbers are low because of Netflix and because of Hulu and because of Amazon Video and because of Apple TV? Are they saying their numbers are low because of that? Surely it can't be the quality of the show. Surely it's not the quality of the show. Surely it's not. It has to be because of Netflix and Amazon Video. Okay.
The therapist's like, I have a podcast. You mind if I use this bit? I'm like, all right, whatever, man.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, the barrier of entry just is blown up, and there's a lot of talent, and
or there's not a lot of talent. There's a lot of great podcasts.
There's a lot of good podcasts, a lot of duos that are good.
Yep.
But then there's a lot of awful ones. Sure. But that's how it goes. Like there's a lot of horrible shows on Netflix, a lot of great shows.
Yeah.
But the barrier of entry is nothing now. It was just different, but we also didn't do it like in the post that I made about us. It's also like, keep showing up. Remember I told you that. You're like, what are we gonna do? I'm like, just show up, man.
Well, you said that when we had Conor on.
Yep.
We had Conor McGregor on, and I remember you just looked at me and you go, we just keep doing this. I had a lot of other shit going on.
There are a couple times. That's what people don't realize.
There were a lot of times. I remember you and I had real come to Jesus moments because I was like, I don't know if I can do the podcast anymore because I'm doing this TV show full time. I'm doing this other thing.
I know it's sad to laugh, but it's just funny. It's just funny. Because, like, why can't you just do everything at the same time? Why does it have to be prioritized? You don't even have a real job. You have all the time in the world. You could do auditions. You could record your fucking TV show and just record the podcast around the TV show. You don't have to pick either or. But, I don't know, you had these big aspirations of, like, it's like, just do everything. And then whatever sticks, sticks. But you don't have to, like, oh, God almighty. Anyway, whatever. What do I know?
And you said to me, you've been at this for a long time, Bri. If you got to step off, I get it. I remember you said that.
Oh, yeah, always supportive. But my whole thing with it is, like, I didn't know where it was going to lead or if...
And then at the end of it, even though Brian Callen's got, like, years of experience on Mad TV, parts of the Comedy Store, at the end, the only thing that remains consistent and constant and reliable has been Tfatk. Could you imagine that? The one thing that he kind of took for granted and kind of put to the side and didn't really prioritize is the one thing that's holding him down the most.
I was going to make a ton of money. I had no clue. But what I did know...
yeah, you did. There was ads on Tfatk from minute 1, bro. Minute 1.
It was ours.
Yeah, and it was magical.
It was ours, and we had so much fun doing it. And... It was ours. So it was like, you know, when I was at E and I got fired for, you know, saying too outlandish stuff or...
I love that he admitted it, though, but he didn't get fired for outlandish. I think he got fired because it was terrible. His interpretation of it is that he got fired for saying a joke to, like, Lil Uzi Vert that wasn't taken too well. I don't think that's the case. I just think he tested poorly. We've seen the clips. He just didn't have great chemistry with his co-hosts. He didn't come across well on TV. It is what it is. I'm sure live TV is probably hard, but I love how he's trying to frame it like he was a rebel. Like, I said the things that you're not meant to say. It's like, or you just didn't do a good job. I also find it interesting, like a lot of these podcasters do this as well. They all talk really negatively about major networks and platforms and stuff. But then when they get a chance on the big stage, they usually fall on their faces. Oh, we don't need big broadcasting networks. We don't need production company, blah, blah, blah. And then they get given a gig on those things. And it's like, here you go. Here's the gig that you say you don't need. Here's the gig you think you're better than. Show and prove. And they always fall flat. I find that interesting.
Whatever it is, okay. You know, it was like, okay, or when even when, like, you know, whatever, you lost a gig here or whatever happens, all good.
Well, like the rape. Mention it.
Like this was the mothership.
This was our mothership.
Like this, like we could always rely on this, and we owned it 100%.
Yeah.
And that was my thing with Fox.
Brendan gets 70, he gets the rest.
Fox, remember with Fox, so we're way over 1,000 episodes because when we're at Fox and when we were doing a grind out of Brian's basement.
Also, why does it matter if you're over 1,000, but it's actually officially 1,000? Just stick with this number. It doesn't matter if you got 1,200, 1,000. It's 1,000's a good achievement. Like, just be proud of that.
Basement, when people would call in, it was just audible. And then I was like, all right, let's start doing video. And that's when we talked to Fox. So the 1,000 start when
my garage. It wasn't a basement, but I like
your
basement.
Garage. Yeah. So Fox, you know, gave us the capability to do video, and that's where the 1,000 starts. So it's way more than 1,000 because the previous ones before that. But remember, Fox, I'm
gonna have to go into the archives and dig those one out. I'm gonna have to dig out the earlier ones that weren't on video, that were just audio. I'm gonna have to dig those out. Maybe I'll do a reaction of those on my Patreon. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/casino. Link in the description. But
to their, you know, it's not their fault. They didn't know how big podcast was gonna get, and then once we started to get traction, they're like, "Hold up, you guys have advertisers?" I'm like, "Yeah, isn't it cool? We got advertisers." Remember, there was no agency dealing with this. Me and Brian I was dealing with it. And remember, CAA was like, "Hey, we want in." I'm like, "Absolutely not. We would never give anybody a piece of this, ever." That was my number one thing. Nobody touches this. You and I worked our ass off. No one's going to touch this. Could we have went farther if we had CAA or further? Some of these big management companies that came to us, maybe. I don't know. But my whole thing was like, nope, we don't want to be censored. We don't want anyone to do.
So I guess Brendan's not signed by CAA anymore. He was signed by them at one point. I guess he's not anymore.
Well, I remember the first time you sent me a picture of a check that we made from sponsors. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I've been grinding.
Yep.
And that check just came from us talking. You know, and I was like, wait, we got something here. Because I remember that you were like, not bad, huh? For 2 months or something. And I was like.
And that's probably when the show went bad, isn't it? The moment they realized, oh shit, if we just sit and talk and we make this amount of money, and we just keep doing it on different shows, we're going to make, I mean, that's probably where the show went to shit. When they started to realize how much they could make and stopped focusing on the quality of the shows, unfortunately, it went downhill. That probably is the inflection point.
Like, hey, I might be able to pay my bills with this fucking thing.
Oh yeah, true, Young Old Vibes. That's very true. I forgot about that arc, that law. He did say they stole his money. Yeah, I forgot what was that for again? When did it happen? What area was that? Yeah, he said something. Yeah, they stole. It might have been during the whole Podcast One sponsorship thing. I think it was around that time because I think people were harassing him for taking the deal with Podcast One while Theo was still being owed money. And I think his reply back was like, "Oh, CAA owed me money." I think that was it. I think.
That was a huge thing for me as an actor because I never had any stability ever.
And then remember,
until I was 45.
Remember, all your acting friends were telling you, leave the pod, it's a bad look.
My agent was like, cheap. Money on a podcast. My agent had no idea what the fuck. I remember my first wife, too, my ex-wife.
To be fair, they were right. His acting career has gone nowhere. To be fair. So they were right. If you want to be an actor, focus on acting. What actor do you know who's really good, who sits on pods every week talking? They don't. You have an air of mystery, an air of distance. You do your roles and you fucking keep it moving. You're not constantly available, constantly in people's faces, constantly sharing your uninvited, opinion at all fucking times on subjects you probably don't know about. Being unfunny, saying risque things, sitting next to people that you probably shouldn't sit next to for optics. So those people were being a little bit scary, actors and shit, but ultimately they've been proven right. It hasn't necessarily helped his career. It's been good for his money, and obviously, especially when he got cancelled, having a podcast is good. But when it comes to acting, he probably shouldn't have been on the pod for so long.
Said to me, when she said, because we were doing the podcast for a while, and we were just showing up. I wasn't trying to do anything. And she goes, God, your podcast is so damn funny. You guys kill me. I went, you're listening to it? She goes, yeah, it's so quick and funny. It's just so entertaining. And I was like, really? Like, I didn't get it.
Let's take a little break.
Brian Callen's first wife used to love listening to the podcast, but he hated going back home to her and still divorced her. Pretty interesting, though, isn't it? I need to go back to that episode, by the way, where the divorce gets finalized and Brendan says to him, oh, yeah, you're going to achieve great things now. She was holding you back. It's like, oh, God almighty. I don't think you want to say that on a podcast, even if it's true. Bloody hell, she listens. Oh, there he is, Schultz on the pod. There he is.
GetKickoff.com.
What's up?
Andrew Schultz, who never forgets us. It's a rare quality.
Never, ever once. Oh, wow, this is cool. It asks you if it's okay that somebody's recording. That's nice.
You see
It's
that?
good to know.
There you go.
Is this okay, the background, boys? Are we cool with that? I'm just like holding my phone.
No,
Hopefully
It's
that's not
a
distracting.
it's a beige background.
Everybody's doing the low effort thing for these guys,
can
isn't
see
it? On their phone, no in studio, no, the lowest of the efforts. He owns his own studio. It's probably not too far from his house. You could easily go there and record it nicely and have a good time and sit with them. Or even dare I say, fly to LA, like he would fly to Austin to sit down with Rogan. Nah, I'm just gonna do it over FaceTime while I hold my phone. Oh man, it's kind of insulting if you think about it, because these guys have been around to the beginning. They basically I think they were responsible for Schultz being friends with Rogan. I think Schultz was on the Fire and the Key before he got on Rogan. They gave Schultz his chance to get on Rogan and then become friends with him. Yet he doesn't give them, he couldn't give them the grace, the decency, the honor to just do it in the studio with nice cameras and nice mics, or even fly there. Nah, I'm just going to give you my FaceTime on my iPhone. Lovely guy.
See that expensive painting behind you, or maybe it's a photograph.
Is this your house, Schultze?
This is my bedroom.
It's not a house, it's a mansion. It's a manor.
Well, it's New York, just like 2-bedroom, right?
Yeah, barely.
That's a mansion. Not New York.
You live in a box no matter how rich you are.
Ooh, that's a bit cunty, isn't it? It's New York. It's going to be 2-bedroom. Do they even like each other? I don't know.
In New York, I don't care what it is. It's a box.
Facts.
Brother, how's LYFT? How's LYFT? The new dad, fresh off the Netflix roast, like, dude.
Yeah, things are cool, man. The new dad shit is the coolest. I'll be honest with you.
Isn't that great? I'm a new dad.
Yeah, we went to music class today.
Really? How old's your boy?
Girl.
Girl.
Fucking no, Brian. Remind everybody that you don't talk to Schultz. Remind everybody that you don't pay attention to anything outside of whatever you have going on. How old is your boy? Girl. Oh.
4 months old.
You've chosen your baby's gender. It's not a baby. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
so,
music class. Music class is 4 months.
They'll just find any way to just take your money. That's what I've realized about this. Is like, we were doing it and they were like, let's meet at this building. And it wasn't even in the building. It was just on the grass. And it was like, this was the thing that bothered me the most, is that it was on the water, but the teachers had the view of the water.
Yeah. Thank you. Big up. Big up. This is awful. Nobody wants to be on the phone. Is it me, or am I getting the feeling that none of these guys actually talk to each other or want to talk to each other? But they're kind of doing this like, it's like a weird vibe, isn't it? Am I not the only one that's feeling it? It's an awkward thing that's going on here. It's almost like Schultz was asked. He can't say no, because if he says no, it feels like he's got an issue with them. And they can't not ask him, because if they don't ask him, it looks like they don't have any comedy friends. It's almost like a weird agreement to like do this. Yes, odd. It's odd. It's just odd.
I think bare minimum, if we're going to pay for a class that's on the grass randomly, like anybody could have just showed up and they could have told me, what am I not going to, I'm going to tell my kid to not sing while these people are singing and doing the songs. But yeah, you guys get it. This is something
you'll see, because my kids are in Santa Monica. There is an entire industry dedicated to making sure that your kids' non-problems are taken care of, and at the slightest, ADHD. Maybe there's another thing. Maybe your kid should have a minder. Maybe your kid should check in with this specialist. And after a while, you're like, oh, I'm getting fucking gamed.
Maybe just spend time with your child then, so they won't have so much free time that has to be taken up by extracurricular things. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe you're trying to find ways to not spend time with your kid, so then people come in and try to fill that time, but then to fill that time, you're going to have to pay them. So if you occupied your kids with your presence, if you hung out with them a bit more, guess what? You wouldn't have to spend money.
I'm getting gamed.
It's a business. SCHULTZ, you had Dana White on your podcast recently.
Yeah.
Usually when Dana's on a pod, I know most of it, right? Like I'm in the business, so I usually won't listen.
Yo, this passive aggressive stuff is odd. What the fuck is that? You had Dana on the pod.
Worldly Rinks, you've spent time in Greece,
like,
as per your
I don't
bio.
really listen.
Wouldn't you know? Then, that babies over there are just baby until 40 days after, when they're baptized and named.
Like,
or are you just too anti-woke to remember?
This is... Okay, I don't know. What an odd way... Anyway.
But I had to listen to yours. I listened to the whole thing. I was, this, I'm a huge fan of the show.
Oh,
so I listened to the whole thing. I enjoyed it because especially your perspective of things that ask some certain questions. But I thought for sure you were going to be the guy when Dana goes... Yeah, Slap Fight has more followers than Real Madrid. I thought 100% you or the boys would be like, well, Dana, and it's not Dana's fault. Like, I think someone told him that, and he's just, he's 50. He doesn't.
Dana White knows that's not true. He's saying that because he's a promoter. His business, his occupation is to talk shit, is to embellish, is to exaggerate. That's why he's saying what he's saying. I don't think he's saying that because he actually thinks Slap Fight is actually... No, he's saying that because he knows we are going to... Oh my God. I'm surprised it annoys him this much. It's not that deep. We all know that slap thing, no one fucking watches it. But he says what he says to get under people's skin and to obviously talk well about his product. Promoter doing promoter things, isn't it?
No. Yeah. I thought for sure you'd be like, Bud, that's not real.
So... He brought it on the pod. You can see it on the pod. He has this like list of basically like statistics of the success of slap fighting or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
slap boxing.
Yeah, slap fighting.
Slap fighting. And I think what I assume it is that the show gets insane ratings online. It's impossible to keep scrolling while two people are about to slap each other. Agreed. That's like not physically possible, right? So you're going to get more views than like a cool goal, or like a random picture of Ronaldo or some shit like that. But there's no way that the league has more followers than Real Madrid.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, of course that's not going to happen. But what's really interesting, and I don't know if he was talking about this on the pod or afterwards, but like, the entire story of UFC, and I don't know if this was pre-pod or after the pod or during the pod that he was talking about this, but like I get why he's so bullish on slap fighting.
Me too.
Because the things that people said about the UFC the entire time they were building it are the exact things that people say about slap fighting.
Yep.
Oh, this is grotesque. This is brutal. These are just destroying these people. Who are these guys? They're a bunch of guys that, they're working at fucking Home Depot. They're just dragging them out here. But like everything they used to say about early days UFC. Because when I first saw the slap thing, I told Dana, I was like, bro, I don't really get it. It's not really for me. But every time it comes up on my Instagram, I'm watching that shit every single time.
Me too.
Really? I can't really. For me, it doesn't.
But have you ever watched it be like real? Like I was pretty outspoken. Like what?
He doesn't give a single fuck. I don't know what that answer was. I don't know what he said. He dropped his phone halfway. His wife is now in the room. They're communicating. Like, he doesn't give a fuck? This is pure charity. And I don't even know why they're talking about this also. It's a 1000th episode. Like, wouldn't it be like, oh my God, you remember the first time we met each other? Oh yeah, do you remember I introduced you to Rogan? Oh, your first show. Why are they even talking about this anyway? Why are they even talking about this? Why are they even talking about this? Look at him. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's having a whole conversation with his wife. He doesn't want to be there. Oh, big up. Their relation, honestly, I don't know about you guys, right? I would rather be lonely. I'm not going to lie. I would rather be lonely than have these type of friendships. Because you almost have to always pretend that you're cool when you're not. For whatever reason, we don't know why they're not cool. Maybe there's distance there. Maybe success as well is a bit in there. You know, Schultz like came on being their friend, then became Rogan's friend through them, and now his career has gone through the fucking, you know, roof. So maybe it's a bit awkward in that way. But you just you have to keep up the appearances of like it's so you're such an afterthought. Like Schultz's life he probably doesn't even think about these guys at all ever. You know, like I don't know, man. It must be so sad, man. Part of me kind of feels bad for them. I'm not gonna lie. I can't help but not feel bad for these guys.
What the hell are we doing? My only issue, and like I don't doubt Dana, right? The guy's hits home runs. All he does is hit home runs.
Hold on 1 second.
Big up Apesowd Aziz. Stop acting like you choose to be lonely. That's actually a good point. I'm acting as if I have a choice, you know, to have friends. Maybe they made the choice. Maybe they made the choice. Maybe they're like, you know what? I'm all set. I'm all set on that guy named after a month and a fucking burger. Oh, fucking hell. Big up Apesowd.
What's that? Oh, no, sorry. Go. Sorry.
He didn't have to do that. No, so you continue your nonsense fucking conversation. Oh my God, bro. He doesn't give a fuck about being there.
And all Dana does is all he does is hit home runs. He knocks it out of the park every time. So I'm not doubting that.
He nearly yawned there. He nearly yawned. He nearly yawned. He nearly yawned. He nearly yawned. Look, look at his eye. He wants to hang out with his wife. He actually loves his wife. He talks about her all the time. He clearly loves his kid. He's always talking about his new kid. He actually wants to be with his family. He does not want to be doing this. He nearly yawned. Oh,
hold on 1 second. What's that? Oh, no, sorry. Go.
I was saying all Dana does is all he does is hit home runs. He knocks it out of the park every time. So I'm not doubting that. My issue was with the whole slap fight thing is it was on the UFC feed. So they were pushing the narrative of, hey, all you guys are like slap fight if you like UFC. And I'm like, do your thing, but don't force it on me, if that makes sense. Like, just have it its own thing.
Yo, when you just gonna be like, my bad, Dana?
I've already done that.
Invite me back to the shows. Invite me. Invite me.
Yes. Thank you, Schultz. That is what I wanted to hear. Look at Brendan's face when he gets confronted. Look at his face. Go on, Schultz. There we go. Let's rewind it back. That's a good one. He just cut through the shit. What? Come on, Schultz.
On me, if that makes sense. Like, just have it its own thing.
Yo, when you just gonna be like, my bad, Dana?
I've already done that.
Invite me back to the shows. Invite me back to the UFC events.
No, we're good,
my
brother.
Bad, Dana.
You're not good.
No, we're good.
You're not good. You're not good. You're not good. That's the thing. You keep saying that. Dana doesn't like you. You keep saying we're good. You're not good. That's kind of toxic as well, by the way. When you have a problem with somebody, but they keep acting like you don't. Or they keep saying you don't. No, you know we don't like each other. So I'm saying we're cool. We're not cool.
We're good, bro.
I'm driving the wedge, bro.
No, not at all. No, people think that. No, me and Dana are good.
Just go. My bad, bro. You know what I mean?
No.
I want to go to the fights. I want to sit up there.
You see what I said about you, about the hating, about Ninja hating? I think you should hate with your chest. Hate in 4K. Hate in HD. Because when you don't, you end up like Brendan. Brendan can't decide if he wants to be Dana's friend, Dana's enemy, Dana's ally, Dana's colleague. You know what I mean? He doesn't know what to do. So 1 minute he's fucking tries to lick up to Dana. Next minute he's fucking dissecting and micro-analyzing the statistics of slap fight, which doesn't matter. Next minute he's calling out UFC for their fight picks. Next time he's saying, oh, UFC 300 was fucking amazing. Like he's always swinging, you know what I mean, going back and forth. Because the inner monologue, you know, deep down he knows Dana doesn't like him. So he's basically coming to terms with it. Just let it go. Let it fucking go.
There with the boys. You know what I mean? I want to watch
Kiss the ring.
things. Like,
Kiss the ring. You gotta kiss the
exactly.
ring.
It's like, bro, the second, like, and that's why I want to learn the whole story.
And I also think part of me thinks this. Let's say this to be true. This is just something I'm going to throw out here from being an old school Tfatk fan. In the beginning, Brendan had every reason to hate Dana. The same reason why journalists hate Dana and the same reason why fans hate Dana. Because the UFC is run like a bit of a mafia. They bully fighters. They don't pay them well. They mistreat champions. They usually take the piss out of and really mistreat fighters who don't put on quote-unquote fun fights. It's really, they run it a bit fucked up. So if you're a fighter, or if you're a journalist and you get close to these things and you see how it goes on, or to borrow a phrase from Brendan, you see how the sausage is made, it's pretty difficult not to dislike the UFC brass. It's pretty difficult not to like them. But I think with Brendan, this is just my guess, my theory. I think back when he used to hate on UFC for the Reebok deal, I don't think he knew. I don't think he could imagine the UFC would be as big as it is now. I think he probably thought deep down, eventually, when somebody buys out the UFC, they're going to fire Dana or something. I think that's what he thought. But now that the UFC is still chugging along and Dana's more successful, more richer than he's ever been, and he's actually a main part, if not an essential linchpin of the UFC organization, he doesn't know what to do because that guy's not going anywhere anytime soon. So it's almost like you have to kiss the ring now because he's outlasted you and he's proved you wrong because the UFC is bigger than it's ever been. But now he knows you're an enemy and doesn't like you because him and Joe Rogan are friends. If Dana can't be cordial with Brendan because of his love for Rogan, he's never going to be cordial with him. It's over.
Because when you learn the whole story of things, you have a lot different perspective. Yes. I was like, what the fuck is the real story of the UFC? When I find out they're $40 million in debt, like 40
right
million.
Now? Right now?
No. In the early days.
It's like 12 billion right now.
Right.
They funded the fighter show themselves, the Ultimate Fighter themselves. They put all the money up themselves because the network wouldn't fucking put it on. Yep. Like the amount of times. Now, granted, they have an investment fund, but investment funds have to show, the Fertittas have to show return. You can't just keep dumping money into some shit that everybody says you're an absolute lunatic for doing.
Right.
So the fact that they put that much in, that much time, blood, sweat, and tears, like I get it. Like it's a. You have a different perspective for it.
Well,
all you need to do is just say, my bad.
Yeah,
and then you get to go to the shows again.
Yo, big up, who's that? Albizu. I would love to see Brendan show up to UFC event and get booed. It's going to be worse than that, brother. Like, I'm sorry. I don't like Dana for his business and the way he treats the fighters and for the lack of pay and shit. I fucking despise it. I think having fighters who are in overdraft and who, you know, are making fucking 20 grand, so they have to fight 6 times a year. But if they fight 6 times a year, they're prone to lose. And if you lose, you don't get more matches. I think it's fucking abhorrent. But Dana is a petty, vindictive guy. When you're his enemy, there's no way of turning that around usually. It'll be worse. If Brendan was to go to a UFC event, I would be nervous for him because I would have a feeling they would escort him out of that building. They'd let him sit down, they'd put the camera on him, and they'd get security to escort him out. That's how petty Dana could be. He'd embarrass him that way. Like he's the kind of guy you don't cross. He's the kind of guy you don't cross. He's gonna do like, honestly, he would have him escorted out of the building and post about it on social media. That guy, like, once you're his enemy, you're his enemy for life.
You're not going to sit front row. You're going to
sit behind you.
With the side.
You're
going to sit with the side bitches. You're going to sit with the side.
Nah, hey, don't do me like that. No,
you're going to sit up in the 100 area.
No, hell no.
200.
The 100.
You're going to work yourself down.
Nah.
You're going to work yourself down.
I'll put one call. I'll put one call into Rogan, and it'll put me right behind him. I might get assassinated. No, but me and
that might happen.
Me and Dana are cool. Like, there's no beef between us. Even on the UFC 300 thing, I was like, why you bring up old shit? You know, but I was like, respect. UFC 300 was dope. Me and him are good. Everyone thinks like this is ongoing beef. I got nothing respect for it.
I love, why does he keep saying that when it's not true? Didn't you expose him for cheating on his wife with Ronda Rousey? Why would he be cool with you? What? And again, he has every right to not like Dana. Every right to not like Dana. But why is he acting like he doesn't like, what is this? He's almost like gaslighting himself.
I love that
Hey,
guy.
Andrew, I want to ask you a question. As a guy who's always ahead of the trend in a way, you know, slap fighting reminds...
Of course, Brian Callen comes in with the save.
Reminds me of the fact that, like, people's attention span is so short. Like, nobody's even watching a whole special. It's like, why even do an hour when you know at the end of the...
By the way, that's a lie. That's a cope comedians were throwing out there because no one was watching their stuff. That's a cope. People are watching our specials if you're funny. If you're not funny, they're going to tune out in the first 5 minutes.
They're going to watch 20 minutes of it, maybe less, even when you post a joke. So, like, what do you think? Is that going to come back? What do you think?
I think the Tom Brady shit.
Hold on. So people can listen to podcasts and watch live streams all day, but they can't sit down and watch a fucking special because their attention spans are short. I think that's a cope.
It broke that.
Yeah.
Because the Tom Brady shit was 3 hours long or whatever the fuck. Like, I remember sitting up there. I had to take 2 pee breaks. Like, I'm looking at the guy who owns the Patriots, Kraft or whatever. And I'm like, there's no way you don't have to pee. Like, I had to leave during Bert and Tom's set so I could go pee. Like, so I'm looking at this and I'm like 3 hours later, and then everybody in the world fucking watched it. Yeah. Like, it's insane the amount of people that watched it.
That was also a watershed moment because it was a bunch of guys who now and gals who were being as.
Do you remember how miserable Brian Callen was that entire week because it was a Netflix is a joke festival and he wasn't invited? To be fair, looking back, I rate him for actually being upset. I rate it genuine emotion. I hate this whole like kumbaya, I'm happy everyone's success shit. No, you're not. Because comedy, like every bits of entertainment, the gap between like the successful ones and not successful ones is super wide. Why would you be super happy that somebody that does the same thing that you're doing is getting 1 million times the amount of money and likes that you get? Like, of course you wouldn't be happy. You shouldn't be if you're somebody that's got ambition. So I like how at least he was, you know, showing a real emotion when he was all like down and negative that episode.
Off color and politically incorrect and using words that would get you canceled normally. And people loved it. It was like, you know, enough of this bullshit.
I think like oftentimes like there's an impactful event, right? And that impactful event is evidence that the tide has changed.
Yep.
But the tide changes before. Like the cancel culture shit and like saying whatever you want to say was done maybe like 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. I don't know, like a year ago. It's maybe 2 years ago it started to change. Maybe like a year ago, it's really like, okay, we're pretty good.
You've always been allowed to say what you're going to say. You're just not free of the consequences. That's my hot take. Cancel culture never existed. It's just people were unable to comprehend the fucking idea that somebody could not like what you said and then with fervor and rigor and real enthusiasm go after you. Cancel culture has never existed. It's just people not liking what you say. But because you live in an echo chamber, you never heard it before. And you're like, oh my God. It's like, bro, just ignore it. It goes away after 2 days anyway. It doesn't exist. It never has existed.
But that was the moment I think that like everybody realized, oh, okay, you could say whatever you want now. Now, human beings are going to do what we do with everything, which is fucking ruin it.
Yeah.
Like the second the cancel culture shit is over, now you got all these people like white people and then the internet are like, well, why can't I say the N-word? Yeah. And it's like now all of a sudden they're going to fuck it up for everybody and they're going to go crazy on the say whatever you want shit. And then all of a sudden the pendulum is going to swing back. And that is just what happens over and over again throughout history. But right now we're in this nice little pocket where you can say whatever you want. So enjoy.
Yeah. We'll see how long it lasts.
You can say what you want, But then if you say what you want, don't expect to get a call from Hulu. Don't expect to get a call from HBO. Don't expect to get a call from Netflix and shit. Until it's advantageous for them. Case in point, Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis became undeniable. Numbers through the roof. Just him standing there and talking. Of course they had to tap back into him. Because stuff out now at the moment is terrible. So you go to somebody that already got guaranteed numbers. That's all it is. It's a popularity contest. If you're popular enough, you can get away with saying anything, really. And if you're a podcaster, it doesn't really matter what you say because you got your fucking podcast. So what? You lose a gig on the TV show. You've got your podcast that makes you millions a year anyway. But these guys want everything. They want the ability to say what they want, people to not get offended, and keep all their mainstream normie jobs. It doesn't work that way. You can say what you want, but then they're free to fire you if you say something that they don't like. That's all it is. Cancel culture is a myth. It's never existed.
So you can say whatever you want. So
Just
Brendan, just say, I'm sorry, Dana White. That's all you got to say. Get me out of the 200s.
100 rows.
I apologize about what I said about the UFC account and the slap account and who's getting the views or whatever. Everything is okay because we want you there. I want you there. I want to watch the fight with you.
I'll take it, brother.
I want to know what's going on. Everybody wants Big Brandon there.
Yep. Are you going to be? Do you go to the? When was the last time you went to a fight?
He goes to a bunch, right?
I went to Abu Dhabi. That might have been the last one. I was doing.
Fucking hell. He gets flown out to Abu Dhabi. Brendan, come on, man. Just say sorry so you can get flued out too, man. Schultz is getting flued out. Why can't you get flued out?
I was doing a show there as well. So I watched that one.
Yep. I'll be at the one on the 29th. You going to be there on the 29th, Vegas?
Where is it? Where?
That's the
Vegas.
Conor fight.
Yeah, that was
Conor's not going to fight, but that.
Wow. Brian Callen's going to be at the Conor McGregor one. And Brendan isn't. Look at the hate. Look at the hate. Look at the hate. I paused at the right time. Look at that face. You couldn't even hide it. Look at the hate. The fight's not happening. Look at the hate. Oh.
He was supposed to on that, yeah.
Okay, so what's the deal with that? Do you guys think that fight is going to happen?
It's not happening.
Whoa, you know that for a fact?
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Yes? Is this breaking news? Do we have breaking news?
You would probably bet a lot of your.
I love how he likes to act like he's got like insider knowledge. He doesn't have any more knowledge than a regular person on YouTube. Most MMA people who cover fights and shit have been saying this from the minute it was announced, or from the minute people saw the videos of, Conor McGregor in the club with his wife, and a harem of other Caucasian ladies going fucking crazy. People have been calling this out for a while, but I love how he acts like he got special insiders at Conor McGregor's fucking, it's like, bro, okay, I guess.
Money on the fact that it's not going to happen. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Listen. Yes, I completely get that 100%. Here's the thing. It's like, do you want it to happen? Absolutely. Do you hope when you see Conor partying at his club that it's just all gamesmanship and he wants everybody to be like, hey, I'm not really training, but then maybe he is. But I just, the feeling that I have is like, uh-oh. But why do you know it's not going to happen? Tell me.
I'll tell you off air. I'll tell you off air, but if you're a Conor fan, get...
Big up Austin Casey.
Even if Bob apologies to Dana, he will open his mouth with a terrible hot takla and screw it up within minutes.
That's the thing. Oh, and big up sorry, I don't think it said your thing because maybe you use a swear word. Big up NJ Ranger. Sorry, I missed that one. NJ Ranger. Hey, Worldy Rinks. You spent time in Greece, as per your bio. Wouldn't you know then that babies over there are just babies until 40 days after when they're baptized and named? Or are you just anti-woke to remember? Fox stick. Big up NJ. I love how Callan pisses off NJ Ranger the same way how Eric Griffin pisses me off the way that he speaks. Just these mannerisms and tone of voice get under his skin the same way. Eric just breathing. I want to fucking ram his face into a brick wall. So big up NJ Ranger with the pure authentic hate. I love to see it. Big up Austin Casey. Going back to that point about if Brendan apologizes to Dana and it won't change anything. Yes. But you know what is sad about this? He doesn't need to apologize to him. It's okay not to like the guy. think about it. Think about it. Even putting your dislike to Brendan to one side. It's no surprise they're not friends. I'm not surprised they wouldn't get on. They're kind of the same person. Dana's just richer. Think about it really. Think about it really. Dana's richer and more successful, but they're basically the same person. It's no surprise they don't get on. So I'm not surprised they're not friends. But it's just Brendan has an inability to accept or to basically be true to his emotions or you know, come to a you know what I mean? Like he can't accept the hate. Like just let it seep. It's okay. You don't like the guy. It's all right. You guys are basically the same. I get it. He's more successful. It's annoying. I get it. And also the fact that he doesn't fight and he acts like, of course Brendan's not gonna like him. The guy walks around like he's a big dog, like he bullies fighters. He can't fight himself. You know, he has them on strings. He's a bit of a bully, a douche, a this, a that. Like, it's no surprise they don't like each other. They look in the mirror and they see each other in a reflection. It's no surprise. It's no surprise. Come on.
Get your money back.
Wow, dude. You were just back in Dana's good graces, man. It's so crazy. You were like right there.
He can't help himself.
And then he throws it all away. It's just what he cannot.
I'm trying to help my boy out. I was trying to. I don't want you getting the wife, the kid all together, flying to Vegas, and you're hoping you see Connor. It doesn't happen. I'm trying to help you out. Dana understands that.
No. I'm not doing anything. I'm chilling. This summer I got to take most of the summer off, but maybe for Connor, that would be fucking unreal. Wait a minute. Does Connor? Wait a minute. Here we go. Does Connor step in for Tyson?
No.
I mean, he's the only person that could step in, and then the fight still goes on.
That's rather intriguing.
When Schultz says he's taking the summer off to hang out with his family, I actually believe him. He's actually at the pinnacle of his career, and he's purposely taking time off in the summer to raise his kid and hang out with his wife. I actually believe him, as opposed to Papa saying that he was gonna do hill sprints with his kid because he wanted to make it in baseball, when really it's because he wasn't selling tickets.
He's the only. Who else could step in and then the fight goes on? Like, I don't want to see Jake fight Logan. I don't give a fuck.
No, I think Jake's gonna fight Mike Perry.
But that hold on, but that you're conflicting. That's not a replacement of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson and Jake are still fighting, but it's not till December.
Gotcha. Yeah.
November, I think.
November or December, yeah, end of the year.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the trash talking. I'd love to see the whole thing go on.
But just logistically, it's never happening, right? Because he has one fight left on his UFC. It's fun to talk about, but the UFC would never allow that to happen.
Yeah, he's got to fight. He's got to fight one more.
But
he has one more.
I'm trying to think of the people that have the cachet, that have the pull to fill that void. The void of Mike Tyson being there, the only other human being that I can think that has enough star power at this point is Connor.
Agree.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think who else
to step in for Mike Tyson.
Yeah. And it's not about skills. It's about who else does the world care about every single fucking breath they take?
Yep. Like casuals.
That's what makes it so.
Fight Ben Affleck. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not even Ben Affleck. It's Rogan. It's Rogan and Conor McGregor, the only people that could step in for Mike Tyson. Those are the only two human beings
100%.
that could step in.
As long
for
as
Mike
Rogan
Tyson.
can kick and grapple, it might be.
Brendan, Schultz should bring it up. Rogan, Brendan, didn't you mention you could beat up Rogan? I wish Schultz would bring it up. Didn't you mention you would knock out Rogan?
Interesting.
Oh, dude, that would be. Are you kidding me? That would be bigger than Tyson.
Yeah,
agree.
I genuinely believe if Rogan says, "I'll fight Jake Paul," that's the biggest fight in history.
That's bigger than Tyson.
Rogan has the opportunity to not only have the biggest fight,
the biggest fight ever,
but the biggest fight ever.
The biggest fight ever.
He just out trumps everybody. It's just him winning at.
Is it that funny?
Just everything, winning, just killing. I remember a long time.
These niggas think of Rogan and just look how they're laughing when they think of Rogan. I love him so much. Is it really that funny? This is what happens with. This is why I can't wait to be rich and successful. People are just gonna be like laughing, and when they think about you, they're gonna be showing all their teeth, just thinking of you. Or look, just showing all teeth. I need to be rich and successful. People just be thinking about you, the image of you, the thought of you.
He was going to fight Wesley Snipes, and I think Wesley saw him hitting mitts and kicking, And Wesley was like, I don't think this is a good idea. But I
No
remember
way.
he was just training.
Oh, it was
I was
legit
like, what are
about
you
to
up to?
go
He goes,
down.
I'm just training. I'm training.
They
3
had
days a week,
contracts
3
and
days a week,
everything.
3
It
I
was
trained 3
this
times a
close
day.
to happening. This close.
He was training all the time.
Wow.
Because I saw him and I was like, what's up? He goes, I'm just training all the time now. I'm getting ready for my fight with Wesley. Because Wesley's a thick dude. You know, athletic and strong, but this was 15 years ago.
He's about to fuck up Blade.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah, that's bad for the brand. You can't as an action.
This is already dying out, man. The chemistry's already dying. He wants to go. They're already the energy levels are dropping already.
Hero get knocked the fuck out.
Well, yeah, but Wesley had done a lot of dancing and he'd done some of that karate. But then he saw like Rogan's a psycho. Yeah,
dancing.
He did a lot.
He did a lot of training for a white man can't jump, dude. He's athletic.
Athletic, strong.
Yo, I think Rogan's taking out Jake Paul in an MMA fight, like no question.
He's a black belt. The only issue is he's 50. What is he? 56. 57. That's the issue.
Yeah. But he's also like a science experiment.
That's
like
also,
you don't know.
Yes.
Like he might be 57 in like human years, but we don't know what he is in science years.
This is fact.
Like
all that HGH, like Uber Rogan,
whatever he's got going on.
Yeah.
It's like I think. Oh my God! I think in an MMA fight,
it's interesting.
I mean, if he just starts chewing up the legs, like what if he just starts kicking him in the legs? If it goes on the ground for jiu-jitsu, I don't know what Jake's jiu-jitsu pedigree is, but I would imagine
he's in trouble. He'd be in trouble.
Joe's gonna fucking tie him up. So Jake's got to keep it on the feet.
Yeah. The only issue is Rogan's wrestling. He doesn't have any wrestling background.
Rogan has no wrestling. He has no takedowns.
And Jake does.
Do you need wrestling?
To get somebody down? Joe has literally. He'll tell you himself. He is not a wrestler.
He could jump half guard though.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, or get punched in the face when you do that. It's a.
But let Jake take him down, and now we're in jiu-jitsu.
Correct.
But I don't think Jake's going to take Joe down. Jake's going to know Joe's a black belt, so Jake's going to keep it on his feet. Joe doesn't have a way to get Jake on the ground.
You know what the problem with all this? As much as I'd love to see
it's never
it,
happening.
Well,
but I like
Rogan has too much goddamn money that we can't talk him into this.
I was going to say that.
But he likes doing shit that scares him. Like everything every habit he has, everything that he's into is like something that is hard.
No.
Like
this is what he'd say to you. I know what he'd say. Because I was boxing and sparring, and he was like, "Don't do that anymore." And I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Because you don't want to get CTE." And so and in order to get ready for a fight with Jake, you'd have to spar, which means you're going to get hit in the head, and he's not getting hit in the head even once. He just does not want to do that.
No, that's not happening.
It would be bad. And then he always says, "I don't need to be more famous or more rich. I've got it."
I think he's good. Schultz.
I do though. I do.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Brian Kelly will fucking fight Jake Paul right
now. I need whatever I got. I need.
Wait, why do you think you could fuck me up? That's what I'm like. Why do you think?
I never said. I never said
he did.
And I almost hit up this Egyptian boxing coach. Like, yo, we got a fight coming up. Like, we really got to get after it. Hossam Abdin. We have a fight.
Look,
that we
you're
need
an athletic guy. You're an athletic guy. You don't have my experience, and you.
What experience?
You'd have to pack a lunch.
How many fights you got?
I mean, I did a lot of
like legit
kickboxing.
Fights.
How many like smokers? You ever have a smoker or anything?
He has smokers.
But I spar. I actually fought a lot.
So
in
I have more experience.
But he has more smokers.
I fought in college. I fought a lot of like around the country in tournaments.
Karate.
Those are smokers.
It was kickboxing, punching.
Excuse me? Rogan is 5 feet 6 inches, and isn't Jake like 6 feet 1 inch?
This is the thing that you all kind of underestimate with this. I keep telling you guys this. Money and success will have people imagining you in ways that you aren't even like in real life. So Joe is so rich and famous, people see him as 6'2". That's what you're confusing. That's what money does to you. Joe Rogan money adds height. It adds stature. It adds presence. So he might be a small man with a massive head, but in these guys' head, he's 6'2". He's built like a fucking linebacker. He's a former Navy SEALs. That's what he looks. That's what he is in their heads. That's what he is. They love him so much, but I love this face because I love this face that Brendan's pulling. when Brian made up Brian's. Think about this, guys. When's the last time you've heard Brian mention that he was a kickboxing kid that went around the country fighting? I've never heard it. And all the time of him podcasting. I've heard the Afghanistan thing, born in the Philippines because your dad's in the CIA. But now, allegedly, he used to like kickbox and compete in college. So that's Brendan's face. I like how he did that. Like, excuse me? Like, I'm a liar. I can spot a lie. You're lying. You know, he knows. He knows. As a liar, he knows when someone's lying. Let's go back 1 minute so you can hear what he said.
More experience.
But he has more.
I fought in college. I fought a lot of like around the country in tournaments.
Karate.
Those are smokers.
It was kickboxing, punching, kicking to the head.
Since when?
It's
the first I've ever heard of.
And by the way, it was full contact, all full contact. That's where
you do.
So this is real.
No takedowns. But I was a wrestler.
Imagine being 60 years old and being this insecure, lying that you used to wrestle, used to boxing. Like, what does it even matter? Like, who cares, man? Like, what? I was in between doing okay, cool, all right. You did everything. What else? Were you a ninja?
I wrestled, for most of my life.
If you fought against another guy, and there was something to be won, not just sparring, but like something to be won, you have way more experience than me if you did tournaments around the country.
Yes, I do. I have a lot more experience.
Even though when you said that, you and I and Brendan didn't believe it. But you did say it. Like,
I'm not buying it at all.
Believed it.
Yeah,
you would
So
say.
saying
I mean,
it
if you really ask him without ribbing,
I wouldn't say you went toured all over the country fighting.
But I did when I was in college.
That's the
I've never heard. I'm not. That's the first I've heard.
That's what I did.
They're about to fall out over this. They're about to fall out and have an argument over Brian competing allegedly in boxing when he was 16. Mister, you're 62 now. It doesn't actually matter. They're gonna fall out. Oh my god, my head. Oh. I'm with Brendan on this one. In the whole time of listening to podcasts, of listening to The Fighting the Kid, I've never once heard Brian mention that he was a kickboxing taekwondo champion that used to fight around the country. I never heard about this ever in my life. Let's go again. This is such a good argument. It's so dumb. Oh god.
I mean, if you really
Have
ask
you
him,
seen the footage of Rogan sparring John Wayne Parr? Terrible.
Sorry, I've just got the image of Rogan hitting the heavy bag after Brendan said he could fuck him up. I'm just replaying that. His little short torso, honestly, man. Reminding everybody that he can kick. He loves them kicks, innit? He loves showing people he can kick. I just assume that he can't punch because of the kicks. He's always showing the kicks and never the punches. I just assume he can't punch. But big Boston Gates, I've never seen that video. I love these guys, man. Fragile masculinity is fucking interesting, isn't it? This stuff about worrying about fighting is fucking weird, man.
if you really ask him without ribbing,
I wouldn't say you went toured all over the country fighting.
But I did when I was in college.
But that's the
I've never heard. That's the first I've heard.
That's what I did.
I'm just saying.
You want to hear something even better? You want to hear something even better? In 1988, I won the American Taekwondo Championships.
Now Taekwondo, I know, but in college, what was the association?
We were actually punching.
I won the American. Surely winning the American Taekwondo Championship doesn't actually mean anything. Can't you call any award whatever you want to call it? It's almost like me bragging about a trophy that I won in the Sunday League. Eastern Conference Southwest Sunday League top goal scorer. It's like, it's just a made up thing. You know, a Taekwondo school for rich kids and they give you an award at the end. Okay. He's acting like he fought in like a legit. Oh, fucking hell, Brian.
What was the association?
American Taekwondo Association.
So it's Taekwondo.
Yeah.
That's completely different than actually boxing, fighting.
No, I know, but we were fighting full contact
in Taekwondo.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But
Schultz is the third wheel while mum and dad argue. Look at Schultz is having to just awkwardly look the other way. Mum and dad are arguing. One more time.
Taekwondo. Yeah. That's completely different than actually boxing, fighting.
No, I know, but we were fighting full contact.
Schultz is having to pretend he's not hearing mum and dad arguing. Look at here.
In Taekwondo.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But wait, but the only difference was I think the reason I won, not because I was good, but we were practicing, like we would throw hands like boxers.
Yeah,
we were doing that.
Then it's not typical Taekwondo because Taekwondo you're not allowed to throw hooks.
No,
and stuff like that.
It wasn't at all.
You just
typical.
said it was Taekwondo.
It wasn't at all typical. So Taekwondo most of the time is point fighting. I never did point fighting once. The tournaments I was in, people were kicking and trying to knock each other out and getting knocked out. And so there was a little bit of a difference. But the reason I never.
Someone's got to find this footage. Someone's got to find this footage of Brian in the 80s doing Taekwondo tournaments. We got to see who the opponents he was fighting to see how he made it champion. We got to see who he was fighting. Someone's got to find that footage. Surely it does exist.
Talk about it. The only reason you never heard about it is that
he's literally in bed. Schultz could not give a single fuck. He's literally in bed. He's literally under his duvet. Oh, I fucking love it.
Very simply, I've said this before. You'll never hear me talk about my Taekwondo days, and here's why. Because we never punched to the face. And if you don't punch to the face and just to the body in tournaments, it doesn't count to me. Now, I boxed a lot in a gym and sparring.
I'm almost positive you...
Yo, big up Apesowd.
1000th episode, baby, let's go. More talk about Brian's college taekwondo tournaments and slap fight league social media statistics.
Yo, this is one of the worst 1000th episode I've ever seen in my entire life. One of the worst ever. This is meant to be a celebration. Maybe don't frame it the way I said. Maybe don't frame it as like, oh, see, we have combated and we've got over cancel culture and we're still here. We made it despite everybody being against us. No, don't frame it that way. But at least frame it as like a celebration. Because 1000 is a hell of an achievement. To do 1000 episodes of a podcast is a sick achievement. I don't know, maybe reminisce over the good times. Hey, Schultz, remember when you were on the first episode? Do you remember what you said? Here's an old clip. Oh my God, look at you. Look how young you look. Da, 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 da. That's how you celebrate. Like, now they've got into this like cock measuring contest. Like, who's the strongest? It's like, it's almost as if there's a big titted Persian woman in the room. It's almost as if there's a Persian lady with big mummy milkers in the room that they're all trying to weirdly impress. Could that possibly be the reason?
You said you were punching to the face about 60 seconds ago. 60 to 120 seconds ago.
There's a lot of holes. There's a lot of holes.
I did train.
The biggest hole is this. Nobody in history has ever said this sentence. I toured the country fighting. Nobody's ever said that. That's not.
It sounds like comedy, right? It sounds like comedy.
It seems like
I toured the company.
Two things.
I toured the company, giving speeches and fighting.
And then he's so defensive. Yeah. He's defensive about it too.
I've never talked about it. You've never heard me talk about it because I don't.
I think you're a professional comedian.
Look how he's. Oh, look at the. You don't have to look at his face. Look at the little weasel. He looks. I'm not gonna say the meme, but you know the meme I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say the meme, but you know the meme I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to get cancelled, but Kanye is innocent.
I've never talked about it. You've never heard me talk about it because I don't. I think
you're a professional comedian. I think you've been a professional comedian for decades, and you're conflating those two things.
I like where you're thinking. I like where you're thinking.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go through my whole fight pedigree. Judo as a kid, where I did do tournaments. Not a big deal.
Well, what age?
I honestly don't think I've ever spoken about fighting at this length with any of my friends in real life ever. Have any of you guys? Is this normal to just like be sitting here and like, oh no, I was in tournaments. No, I did, like, unless you actually are in it. Like, I've never spoken at length in detail about my history in combat sports. Like, it's like what? Big up Sanaz, man. She's been a great addition to Tfatk. Sanaz has been the best addition because now these guys are peacocking. It's like they're trying to impress Persian mummy milkers. I love it.
Wrestling,
what age judo?
Starting at like 9. That's what got me into wrestling. So I went to America for the first time at 14 and became a wrestler. Wrestled all 4 years in high school, in earnest. Went to Dan Gable's camp. And then, and then,
hold on. How successful a wrestler
went to Dan Gable's camp. What, AKA my dad got me lessons in Dan Gable's. Like, honestly, why are you even bragging about this? It's stuff I have. How do you remember? Anyway, whatever. This is just, I don't know.
I was really good, to be honest with you.
State champ.
So I took 3rd in the All New Englands at MIT. In the All New England tournament.
He was a wrestling champion at MIT. Isn't that like a technology college? How are you bragging about being champion at MIT in wrestling? Who are you competing against? Don't get me wrong. I know some geeks can be really good at that sort of stuff, but come on, man. It's not like you're competing against the, literally, physically gifted freaks and shit. Like, come on.
Was a tournament where everybody from public school and all the private schools would go to wrestle. So I took 3rd there. Wow. And then I
took... What weight class?
Shaw says, wow.
139, I think, in my senior year. And then I was seeded 16th at the Nationals in Lehigh. 16th is not a big deal. It's like that's not even worth mentioning. So I was okay. I was pretty good wrestler.
It's not worth mentioning, but I'm going to mention it anyway.
And then the guy I'd beaten at American University, which was
Izaki Ruben Rivera. I was a wrestling champion at my art college. That's like when BGL said he studied stand-up in what did BGL go to? The San Francisco School of Comedy. Do you remember BGO? That makes sense, man. That definitely does marry up with fucking Big Gay Lion. Studied stand-up. Like, I got a bachelor's in comedy at the San Francisco School of Performing Arts. It's like, what? Why are you telling us this?
D1 program I had beaten and he was starting. So I went to wrestle there. And then
not on scholarship though.
No.
So you walked on.
I walked on, but I didn't even walk on because I talked to the coach, and then I had a back injury, and I think it was.
He injured his back like the DSP, or like Mike Tyson. I broke my back. Oh my god, man! This is such a minor thing, and they've been talking about this for like half an hour. Fight careers, comedians, 100th episode. Can we get back to the fucking comedy, please?
It's because I couldn't stand losing the weight, and I'd gone to Dan Gable's wrestling camp for 2 weeks, and I was like, if this is D1
Callan isn't only scaring all the hoes, he's scaring all the bros. Callan has killed this episode. Not even Brendan. Let's not even blame Brendan. Callan has single-handedly killed this episode. He scared all the bros.
Wrestling, fuck off. I don't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it. So I think I gave myself a psychosomatic back injury. And then I saw these guys kicking and...
You gave yourself a back injury.
Punching on a level I'd never seen. And I was like, I want to learn how to do that. So I do.
Big up Austin Casey.
Recalls wrestling stats.
Oh, Asad, sorry.
Forgets baby and car.
Oh yeah, of course. Classic Brian. Oh my god, my head is killing me. I've got a headache. I'm laughing for so much. Oh my days, man. He really is. This has to be an insecurity, isn't it? Maybe this is why he's obsessed with men's bodies. Maybe this guy got absolutely railed when he was in school. He used to get pushed about, pushed into toilets and stuff. Because what is this?
Brian had a cup of coffee with the judo school.
Oh my god. 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 Why does this matter? Why does this matter, please? Why does this matter? Oh, my eyes, my head. Big up Austin Casey, man. I like that he doesn't understand that everyone's laughing at him and not laughing with him as well, by the way. So he did judo, kickboxing, wrestling, and taekwondo. What next? Muay Thai. Is he going to say he was Muay Thai champion when he was living in Thailand with his dad? What's next?
Martial arts. And guess what I learned? Here's another thing I never talk about. I realized that for me to be good at taekwondo or full contact kickboxing or whatever, I had to set up patterns. And I realized that there were guys that could beat me with no problem. And I was like, I'll never be.
Look at Brendan's face. Look at Brendan's face. Oh my God. Read the room, Brian. You've lost the room. Look at Brendan's face. Like, what are you talking about? Oh my God. This isn't even press X to doubt. This is command and quit. Look at his face. He's so pissed. Like, why are you lying about this? I lie. I know what lying is. Why are you lying like this? Oh my God, Brian Callen, man. What an amazing dude.
A champion at this shit. Every time you go to practice in my studio, you could get knocked out. So you're always fucking nervous. It was always scary. Always. A little bit. That's why whenever like I would box and Wayne McCulloch would go, "You're sparring today," I'd be like, "Oh fuck." Remember I said to you, I go, I'm getting dizzy because I was getting hit too much. And you were like, "Keep it up, dude, at your age."
I did taekwondo for 1 week. My dad signed me up for it. I went, "This is gay," and I walked out.
Yeah. But where I was doing what I was doing, it was pretty. Those guys can kick your head off, and it was pretty good, and we were fighting. But
what kind of masculinity is that you think taekwondo is that a thing for people that do martial arts and combat sports? Is taekwondo seen as gay? Why is it gay? Because you kick only? Well, because of the spinning stuff. What's gay about taekwondo? Because of the name. Is karate more gay than taekwondo? I thought karate would be more gay, no? Like, wow, all that sort of shit. Taekwondo's more gay than karate. So being able to kick somebody's head off with whatever kick you're doing is a gay thing. Being able to turn somebody's lights off with a question mark kick is gay. Okay.
But the point is, I've done enough of it. I'm a Henso blue belt in jiu-jitsu. I still roll.
What's up, Schultz?
Still box
What's
now.
up, bro? Talk that shit now, dog.
But
Talk that shit now.
Jiu-jitsu. I'm also old.
Jiu-jitsu we're not talking about. I don't know how to do jiu-jitsu. That shit is mad uncomfortable. Yeah. Like
I saw you
everything
hit
about
mitts.
it is just uncomfortable.
Schultz has been boxing for a while.
Anybody can hit mitts.
Yeah.
I think that if you have a decent amount of coordination, you can hit mitts.
Yes.
So I don't know how much we can tell about hitting mitts.
You can't
always bring up mitts, though.
No, I'm saying I saw you hit mitts, but it's not boxing.
No.
You know,
the biggest difference for me, at least that I've experienced when it comes for boxing, my very little experiences is when I was boxing back in the day in college. Is just comfort while punches are being thrown at you.
Yes.
How comfortable are you sitting in there? How comfortable are you with distance and that kind of stuff? So if what you're saying is you've been in these tournaments where people are punching you in the face and,
my observation just as a regular layman, people that talk in depth at this level about fighting who aren't fighters probably are scared to get into a fight. It must be part of an insecurity to talk about at this length. Like, why is this at this, like, it's a bizarre cope self-defense. It's a weird thing. It's a very weird thing. Very weird.
I don't know if they are doing that.
No,
you can't punch to the face.
That's why I never talk about
punch.
So just kicking. If there's no punching to the face,
just to the body.
I'm gonna maul you. I'm gonna absolutely.
No. Hold on. Hold
it. You've been in a situation where you're getting punched in the face.
Did a lot of sparring.
That's
though.
Different.
No, did a lot of sparring where I was punching in the face. A lot of sparring.
I don't know. I mean, how hard are we talking about?
Well, we gotta get Wayne. I'll let you talk to Wayne McCulloch, who used to throw me in there with a lot of guys.
We talk about practice right now. We talking about practice.
Wayne McCulloch was a world champion. He was my teacher.
We talking about practice.
I would spar a lot. So I'm pretty comfortable in that arena. If you and I are going to go at it, it's going to be, you're going to have your hands full. I'll give you that.
I might.
Look, you're
I genuinely might.
You're a tall kid. I got to get under your jab, but I'm going to go.
Schultz wants to be with his daughter and his wife right now. He is so done. He's finally he's out now. I just see it in his face. He did a little eye roll.
You're a tall kid. You're a tall kid. I got to under your jab.
Yep, he's done. That's the face of somebody that's done. That's done. He's rolling his eyes, closing his eyes. He's done. Just like that.
But I'm gonna give you some props.
Schultz is too successful now to do it.
Tell me how it's gonna go.
That's the bummer.
This is how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feint my jab at your head, and then I'm just gonna start popping you to the stomach.
Really?
And then you're just gonna feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm just gonna touch you, and then you're gonna realize that the distance is a lot further than you thought it was.
It's a problem for you. The distance is a problem. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna start hitting you upstairs because those arms are gonna come down.
Oh, I see.
But I'm not gonna really exactly. So I'm not gonna really release anything.
You're gonna pepper
and
me.
then I'm just I'm just pepper. I'm not even gonna throw the right hand. No. I'm not really gonna throw the right hand.
That's a
and
threat.
Then what
That's
I'll
here.
probably
That's
do,
here. Yeah.
It's nothing. It's not even doing anything.
Right.
I don't even know if I have the footwork at this point to
But you
really
play basketball,
drop it.
so you got some footwork. You're younger, a little. You're not as straightforward as sports.
This is what's going to happen. Yeah. I'm going to, instead of throwing the jab, I'm going to open up and I'm going to throw kind of like a soft hook. It's not even to be that big.
I got you.
And the right hand is going to follow it. And then we're going to stop sparring. That's going to be. That's going to be.
Now let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. Yes. When I'm getting under your jab and I'm punishing
There's no getting under the jab. There's no getting under the jab.
Okay.
There's no punishing the midsection.
No,
there's no get.
But you got a lot of midsection.
Getting under.
I feel like your midsection is a whole country of possibilities, and I mean.
I'm all legs. No,
I know.
You're going to see my legs spread.
Right.
And you're going to see the distance with the arms, and you're just going to go, what was I thinking?
Right. What if I catch angles though? If I start stepping to the side, now I'm throwing, and I've been throwing a long time. I've been throwing my hands a long time, so now my balance is a little better than you thought.
I think both of you break your noses though. Let's just say that.
We'll spar with a bar. Let's spar with a bar.
I'm wearing the fucking I'm wearing a bicycle.
Pterodactyl.
Maybe football helmets. You know what I mean?
Nothing's getting hurt here. This is
By the way, one of the problems with boxing is that if you're in boxing, I would feel very awkward actually punching you in the face because I like you. I'd feel awkward.
It does get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I went through that as well when I would like spar with guys that I liked, where it's like I either had to be really close friends with you and you know that I wouldn't hurt you and like we were good.
Yeah.
But the people that I was like kind of friends with, I felt really weird. Like if I would crack them,
Me too.
I wouldn't feel weird when they hit me, weirdly enough. And they would. I would get hit all the fucking time.
Yep.
But I would feel that it's the strangers I felt more comfortable sparring.
Yes, it would be very awkward.
Just felt better.
I would get no satisfaction from like hooking you and actually hurting you where you have to take a second. That doesn't make me feel good.
That's why the pros that we would pay guys.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, all right, if I knock him out, at least he's getting paid.
Yes.
You knock him out, he's at least getting a check.
Yeah, because two jokers
$100,
like us,
but
you and I might start swinging, and somebody's going to connect, and then somebody gets like you're having trouble chewing, or it's like, oh fuck.
Schultz, I feel like you've cleaned up your diet too. Not that you were ever fat. You've always been thin, but your face looks different now. You're a little Hollywood. A little more famous, whatever.
I'm falling apart, Brendan. I am my heaviest I've ever been.
No.
I put on the baby weight. I am playing paddle, or padel, which is the most amazing sport I've ever played in my entire life. I'm absolutely addicted. I'm playing it 3 times a week. I'm obsessed with the sport. But what the sport does is it's not even paddle tennis.
So we're getting older.
Padel. Paddle tennis is a country club sport. I knew you grew up rich, you fucking wasp. But
I'm Italian. I'm Sicilian. What do you mean wasp? I'm Sicilian.
This is padel, and but what it does is it makes you fat. Like for whatever reason, the way that you burn calories, they just come right back.
It's not pickleball. It's not pickleball.
Not pickleball. It's very insulting. Pickleball is the taekwondo of racket sports. So we can't do that. We can't do that.
Fuck, dude, I do pickleball and taekwondo, so I shouldn't even talk to you about fighting or sports.
Bro, can you please stop playing pickleball and play paddle? I'm going to connect you with the guy in LA.
I play paddle in Venice. I play paddle.
Yeah, we play. Is paddle the one where it's a
hard ball? It's a hard.
No, it's a solid. It's a little different.
Is it a deflated tennis ball?
Yeah, and a solid racket, right?
Is that right?
Wood racket.
But you play a little different one.
These guys haven't spoken to each other in months, innit? These guys haven't legitimately spoken to each other in a long time. Fucking hell. 1,000th episode. Celebration, by the way. This is what they're talking about.
Are
you talking about cricket, Andrew? You talking about cricket? You play cricket?
I'm talking about cricket. I'm talking about cricket. That's the real sport.
Yeah.
No,
Padella street cricket. Padella street.
It's a game from the hood. The hoods of Acapulco, Mexico. It's a great game. You guys should try it.
You can ball. You're athletic. I've seen you play basketball.
I used to play. I could hoop growing up. I can't hoop anymore. Like my whole body's broken down. But this is why I'm playing racket sports.
Why the fuck's your body broken down? From what?
I know.
From telling jokes?
From being successful?
Yeah, probably telling jokes. No. I don't know. Maybe
That's kind of condescending, isn't it? My body's broken down from what? Telling jokes? No, Brandon. From being successful. I have a Netflix special. I have a very popular podcast where I interview quite a lot of popular guests. I'm touring around the country and the world. You know, I actually have a career. That's almost very... I don't know. There's a lot of passive aggressive, weird shit going on here. I don't know what's actually happening, what we're watching, but that's an odd thing to say, isn't it? Somebody's bodies can't break down because they're not doing sports. It has to be a physical activity. It can't just be like recording and working all the time and touring and doing specials and shit. That isn't taxing either.
Maybe my ceiling wasn't that high, but I pushed it to the ceiling.
I got you.
As a kid, if that makes sense.
Ran it hard.
So I gave it everything I got in order to be competitive, but I really was just revving it to the like
the other kids were at 6s and you're at 10. Yeah.
Revving a Fiat, taking it on the track.
Yeah, but I don't know. But,
bro, I texted you about this. That video you did where you show your dad that you're playing Madison Square Garden was I actually
cringed. The worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really teared up. It was so fucking beautiful, dude.
That was the goal, right, Schultz? That was the goal.
I can't wait to tell my dad I'm playing Zanies this weekend. I've come a long way.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. We had to hire an actor to play my dad. He wasn't available, but it really seemed to hit people in their heartstrings.
Yeah. Your dad's a real man, though. That was such a dad reaction. Dude. No emotion. He just went
with the fist pump. Yeah.
Great.
I mean, he's also riddled with dementia, so it's a little bit tricky for him. Like we're just waiting to kind of film it. I mean,
does he live in the city? Where's your dad live? He lives in the city.
Yeah. My mom and dad live in the city.
What are they going to talk about the weather next? What next? Talk about the weather. How's the weather in New York? How long is the flight to LA? What the fuck is this conversation?
City. They live in the same place where we grew up. Yeah.
Wow.
You grew up in a city. Where were you born? What's your middle name? Oh wow. So your mom's still alive? Sick. Okay. So you played basketball when you were in high school? Awesome. You went to college? Wow.
Real New Yorker.
So they live in the same place. Kid. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty
and what did your dad do?
Cool having him here.
I don't
Schultz wants to leave. Schultz actually wants to hang out with his family. Schultz is so done.
I don't think I ever asked you that. What did your dad do?
So my parents ran a dance studio. My mom was a ball.
Anybody that's listened to Flagrant knows this story. If you just listen to Flagrant, Callan has no idea because he doesn't speak to Schultz and they're not friends. Anybody that knows Flagrant knows, his dad, mom, dance studio, blah, 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 blah. We know this. They don't know. Friends.
Ballroom dance teacher, and she had a ballroom dance studio. Yeah. She was a 3-time U.S. ballroom dance champion.
Yeah.
Bro, how was your dancing?
I can do it a little bit. I got the basics down. I wasn't like wasn't brought up in the school. But my dad was like he used to be a news reporter in Baltimore, and then he used to produce the news for NBC when he moved up to New York. He was in the news business.
He's a big boxing fan too, right?
Oh, dude, he was. He was
Muhammad Ali. Like,
yeah, he would go to Ali's camp.
Sun?
He would work for WBAL, which is where Oprah worked, like back in the days.
Wow.
And yeah, well, no, I think when she was young and just like talented, and but he had this. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, he would go into
Just end it. Just end this torture. End this torture already.
Ali's camp all the time, and like he has like this footage of him like interviewing Ali, and Ali like talking.
I'm curious to see. Because I haven't watched. It's the first time watching this, so don't spoil it for me. It's the first time watching this, so don't spoil this for me. I'm curious. Who ends this call? Do they end it and say they got to move on, or does he make an excuse and say he's got to hang out with his kid? I wonder who makes the excuse to end it, because we're reaching the end. They're just meandering now.
And shit.
Wow.
And like, he would just be up there. And he interviewed Ali before he fought Foreman. And like, Ali told him, and everybody's like, how the hell are you going to beat this guy? And I was like, not only am I going to beat him, I'm knocking him out.
Yeah, Schultz, like that's the thing with Schultz. Like we're talking about, like, Schultz knows boxing.
I want to apologize.
Schultz knows boxing better than I do.
I want to apologize to you. I shouldn't be talking boxing with you.
Like current boxing, like Schultz knows boxing better than I do.
The guy can dance, he can dance, and he can strike. I don't want any part of that shit.
Like you want to talk MMA, I'm all about it. You bring up boxing with Schultz.
Dude, I need the clicks, so let's box. We'll do one round so I can promote my dates.
Hey Schultz,
exactly.
We gotta get you out of here soon, but I wanted to ask you, are you?
Oh yeah, Brendan ends it.
You're at the point now because Flagrant has been going on for how long?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know. I don't know.
6 years?
No, it's got to be longer than that, right?
Because Brilliant's about over 10, yeah?
I think Brilliant might be 10. We did 500 episodes of Brilliant. We just did that.
And you do one a week.
And we do one a week, yeah.
Okay.
And so then Flagrant, I'm not exactly sure. But what are you saying?
I was going to ask you, are you at the point, I haven't run into it on this show, but with some of my like fighting shows where you're doing it so long, the guests, you have reoccurring guests, but then after that, you're just kind of like, I'm just going to do it with the boys, man. Like, are you guys there yet? Because you've had like some crazy guests on, but I'm like, I wonder what he's going to do next. And you've tried mixing up a little bit. Like, you've obviously, especially, when you met
I'm sniffing here. It smells like Brendan has watched some detractor, trolly, hatery, Flagrant videos where they made that point. This sounds similar to someone made a point about, or maybe he's been on a Reddit. Maybe because he hates deeply, secretly hates Schultz. He's watched some hate Schultz content where they've said that the only shows that get views are the ones where they have guests on. But then the guest ones are terrible because they all talk over each other. This feels like he's fishing for some sort of, I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but this feels a little bit hate watchery. This question.
Rogan stuff, you've got really into UFC, so you have like Izzy on and Sugar and the boys, so you've kind of branched out into MMA, you've branched out in kind of the history stuff with the
it's almost like you've done it like
guy with the pyramids, like I see you doing that stuff, and to me I'm like, oh, he's trying to, it's not
look at Schultz's face. I think Schultz understood as well. Look at Schultz's face. I think he understood. Wow, this is what failure looks like. I think even Schultz understood. I think he got it. Look at his face. These niggas are hating. About, am I tired of my successful show? No, I'm not tired of my successful show. I love it. I love doing my super successful show with my close friends and making millions of dollars while doing it. Why would I hate it? Why would I hate all these successful people clamoring, begging me to appear on my very successful show? Why would I hate that? Why would I not like that?
That you're looking for new fans, but you're looking for stuff to like get you excited.
Exactly. Like for me, it's like I have to want to talk to that person. You know what I mean? Like I have to want to talk to that person and want to chop it up, and I'm curious about you. And I think that's what's going to drive it. And then the thing is that like sometimes the people that you want to talk to aren't going to be big episodes. But that doesn't matter.
That's right.
Like, I think you just have to accept that. Like, when you're going into it, you just have to be like, okay, you know how to game the system. There is a way to game the system. And if you only do that, then I think you're a grifter. And there's a lot of people on the internet that are just these grifters. They let the algorithm decide what their content is.
There's a lot of them,
right? Like, and you could tell who they are because you could just look at the beginning of the videos they made and the videos they made once they started getting views. And they're like, oh, this is what I will do, right? And it's like, so what I don't want is us to do that. So what I do love, and the basis of the show is just like, hanging out with the boys and talking shit. I love that. I also love interviewing people I'm curious about or admire. And I think that has to drive the show. And then sometimes we get to interview these people and they're these like huge breakout episodes. Like the Dana White episode is fucking great and it's awesome. And like
great.
somebody I really admire, and I thought it was like unique and different, and like he was really willing to share, and that was great. And then there's episode this week where we're just fucking making fun of oh shit, hold on.
You making fun of Mark's grandma?
Yeah, we're making fun of Mark's grandma.
Mark goes, this is him. Mark goes, man, my grandma had a stroke, man, and he's like, how old's your grandma? And whatever, he said 97. Schultz goes, she was in World War II, and he's like, yeah, how old was she? He's like, I don't know, like 19. And she was like, she was in England. She was like in the bunker. He's like, damn, they get wild down there. She's just getting spit fired down there, or what'd you say, spit forked or some shit?
Yeah, spit roasted.
Of course, Brendan would retell, instead of letting the person, hey, why don't you say the joke that you tell in your podcast? He retells someone jokes, butchers it, and then tells them to save it at the end. Fucking brilliant.
And then we just were just saying, lighting them up. You know, we lit him up for like maybe 15 minutes.
That's what your friend should do.
His grandma.
That
but then at the end of it, he goes, well, yeah, she died from the fucking heart attack.
Silence.
And then we just went to a break where Akash told everybody his date.
Yes.
He's like, by the way,
I'll be. And
I love Akash
on.
too. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. We know you gotta get going, brother.
Actually.
No, she didn't die. He's been good. It's great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But we love you, brother.
Guys,
you're one of the originals.
You too, man.
Oh, I think Schultz ended it first, actually. Schultz actually ended it. So it's a twofold. It's double ending, but Schultz ended it.
It's great.
All right, guys, I'm done. Fuck you.
But we love you, brother.
Guys,
you're one of the originals.
You too, man.
Love you.
Next time I'm out there, we got to get an episode in, man.
Please.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Snow, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Standing invite always. You're the best.
Keep crushing it, brother.
Tweet about my dates, buddy. Thank you so much, Brian Kelly.
Bye.
You guys should fight.
I love him.
That was awkward. Anyways, I'm gonna leave the rest of it till now, and we'll catch up another time and do this probably later on. So we're gonna save this for later. But that was a good one. We got to see Schultz. I don't care. Those guys aren't friends. I don't fucking care what anyone says. Those guys aren't friends. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. Those guys aren't friends. They're not friends. I do not care what anyone says. Those guys are not friends. But anyway, regardless, thank you for tuning in for now. I'm going to love you and leave you all. Thank you. As per usual, make sure you smash the like button down below if you enjoyed whatever you've seen and all of that good stuff. Cool. And I'll see you guys on the other side. All right? All right? All right? Cool. Peace. Oh yeah, and yeah, I am streaming later tonight. I'll come back later tonight and finish the episode. Of course, sorry, I've got to say that. I'll come back later tonight and finish the episode. Sorry, forgot to say that. Come back later and finish the episode. Peace.